live. We ain't live
Brent
until
Waters, if you hear this, please braid my hair.
Now we live.
Jesus.
Greetings, wrestling fans, and welcome to another action-packed card of All-Star Wrestling.
I feel bad saying it because we're with some fellas that have good intros on their podcast too. But every week I'm like, yo, we need somebody to start spitting on that shit at some point. Leo Rush? No, not Leo Rush.
Nah, hell no. Hell no. Don't do that to y'all theme like that.
I'd rather have Tiana Trump spit on it before Leo Rush.
2 shots in already. Niggas is back and niggas is black. As always, it's the Black Rasslin Podcast, giving y'all wrestling from a nigga perspective. It's your boy Cal, representing rockthedub.com. You already knew that, though. The squad plus a bunch of family is on the line. So please, if we could just go square by square, just tell the people who y'all are.
Oh, I guess that'll start with me. You starting with me? Me or?
We gonna go.
Shot for every nigga that. I'm gonna take a shot for every nigga that talk.
We'll go. Yeah. You go ahead. We'll figure it out.
It's your boy Cody Dre, man. 1/3 of the Black Announce Table. You already know what it is. Hit my drops. Wait, wrong show. Can't do it, but I'm here. You know.
Jesus, that's on you.
Hold on. Here come my nephew.
Oh, it's me?
Yeah, go on.
Hey, if y'all hear this, you know who it is, man. Sky High Eve. Leader. You feel me? The villain, the top. You feel me? The most hated. He said he ain't playing his shits. I'm playing my drops. You feel me?
I love you, Eve.
If y'all heard him.
Talk to him, Eve.
Jeez. It's on you, man.
At Stat Guy Greg, the only stat guy in the building right now, aka SGG, one half of ESPN's Cheap Heat podcast, aka Gregory Sean Bailey Hyde Esquire, the original, the real.
Hey, the only nigga starting on our podcast is me.
Here he go. Here he go. Nah, too many niggas in here to not have somebody else already kick that shit off. Who was you though? Who was you?
Hey man.
Nah, that's him.
Oh.
Just say who the fuck you is. Shit. Somebody.
Ooh. Oh shoot, man.
Well, the phony stat guy went before me, but yours truly. Davey Boy Davis, aka the one and only true stat guy. The champ. Week in and week out for the past 3 months. You know who it is.
AKA Saul Badman.
That's good.
Hey man, you already know what it is. IlFam790, your social media choice. AKA, I gotta run back to the mill, man. It's Terrence Trent Darby Allen. You already know.
Classic.
That's a deep cut.
Facts.
Yeah, Cal Dub owned the land, but me and Fam did the construction at Mav Damon, 1854. You know where I'm from. Stop playing, bitch.
Spice. I mean, you should know. We've been talking about being on the road to 200 for a minute. This is the 200th episode. It's I don't know if you want to call it a Thanksgiving spectacular. It's definitely a celebration of our feat, but also just like, you know, I don't know if is it the past, present, and future of Black Rasslin Podcasters? Is it just a bunch of cats that is cool with each other and like to talk shit for 2 hours? I don't know what you want to call it, but
we the Infinity Gems, man, for sure.
I like that. I wanted to get, you know, the delegation together. Piece of Suku, you know, you hear a spirit, but wanted to get everybody, just because, you know what, there's a lot of people that do what we do, and no disrespect to anybody else who does what we does, but I feel like
anything before but usually means nothing.
All I'm saying is nobody's doing it the way that we're doing it. And I'll put the 200 plus episodes of what we've done here, the merch, the fact that Mans is on ESPN, the fact that the Black Announce Tables, like there's legacy.
The BRP 50.
Look, we'll get to that. I wanted to I don't want to start this off because shouts out to Mike Sempervive from a Wrestling Observer Live. He was on last week's episode, and there was a point in the episode where Davis
when he asked could he smoke the reefer live on air? You talking about that? And he was like, "You mind if I smoke this reefer?"
He typed it first.
He typed it first, and I told him, "Do you? That's you though." Because I don't know what his I don't know what's going to mess up anybody's chicken, so I don't want to tell somebody to do something that
we are. You want this is going up?
Well, it was live. It was live on YouTube. So I mean, if you want to hit the bowl or whatever, do you? But I forget what the conversation was, but it probably has something to do. I think Davis mentioned They Call Us Madmen, the podcast he has with Banks, and somebody probably said
Banks.
This is where we mute his mic. No, matter of fact, put him backstage.
Damn.
Green fake stat guys to the green room.
Damn. Somebody said something about
coming from the top.
Shout out
running from the ground.
Shout out Banks.
Yo, Wildin'. Yeah. Shouts out Banks. Shouts out to everybody in the Discord. And we'll get again. I want to paint a picture. I want to paint a picture because Davis said somebody said something and was kind of like, tell that man, stop talking about that damn podcast. We ain't here for that. And Davis mentioned Cal, he's always talking about rockthedub.com, da. And I don't want to say I took offense because we all took offense. No, it's not even that. I'm an old ass man, so I'm at the point in my life where like, fuck, I don't really. This is me. I don't give a fuck. But I realize that like, there's history that people don't really know because nobody really cares to do the knowledge on certain things. Like, there would be no Black Rasslin without Rock the Dub. You know what I mean? It was one of those things where I started that blog because I ain't had shit else to do. I married with children, loving hip hop, loving music, whatever, and just trying to educate people about shit. And with that vein, I started this website. I started Black Rasslin just to, there was no site representing Black pro wrestlers. That site literally turned into niggas putting up streams for the pay-per-views every month or wherever. That's how hey, it is what it is. Them links is gone anyway. But at a certain point, it gets to like life is too busy. And I don't remember what the conversation me and Fam had because we was already cool. Me, Fam, and Math was already cool because Math was trying to get his Math. You want to kick a bar real quick? You got a quick 16 or something. You want Golden Gloves? You want to kick that off?
No.
No.
The
Okay.
great part is I have that video loaded up and I'm gonna play it now.
No, but
yeah, let that run.
We knew each other because we were Fam was helping out his cousin, and I had a site that would cover all types of, especially a lot of cats in the DMV. Shouts out to everybody down there who showed love. And we had a conversation at some point, and Fam was like, "Yo, there's not really any like specifically wrestling and hip hop podcasts." I took that idea and I was like, "That is really good." And I October 2011. I was working at a shitty job. I won't mention the spot. And I said, I was listening to Wrestling Observer and like Juan Epstein and a bunch of these podcasts. I was like, I could do that, but like niggas didn't have laptops or mics or none of that shit. I had a BlackBerry and I had some headphones and I had free time at work. Cheers. Let me cheers.
Oh yeah.
Cheers, fellas.
I'm sorry, and I don't want to make this story too long, and I would talk about it. I did 46 episodes of this shitty little Black Rasslin podcast, and back then,
What was the year?
2011.
October 2011. It went from October 2011 till about September of 2012 because that's when I started Complex, and that's when I had to stop work. I didn't have enough time to do anything, but it was we off air. Ethan and we're talking about the violations they got on SoundCloud for putting I would talk about something that happened, and then I have like 2 or 3 songs play, and then we would go into it's just crazy to think, I had a news section, had recapping, preview, it was the genesis of this podcast. If people want to hear it, I might throw up some of the old ones, but they sound bad because I was again out in the open. If it was windy, if it was cars come, what you heard all that shit, but
you gonna get this win.
It is what it is, but it was again. You can tell when there's a passion for certain things. You know what I'm saying? And so again, fast forward September 2012, I deaded it, and in that time frame, it seemed, I don't want to say like niggas was early, but it took time for the Rassle Raps to come through. Couple years, we Cheap Heats was coming through. I am not crying. I don't care what nobody said. There's no tears going on here. There's no tears going on. But it's. I think people need to understand the branches of some of the shit we do. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like at a certain point, you see all of these movements happen, and again, that's when Brother Fam hits me and he's like, "Yo, we've been doing the Where's Buffy." How long had y'all been doing Where's Buffy at that point in 20? Because we started in January 2017.
So in 17, 3 years ago, so probably like 2 years.
So in the interim, they were getting their feet wet and doing very well, just figuring out the whole game. And he said, "You know what? Are you down to bring this back?" And shit, let's go. And it was January 2017. We recapped. I look back. That episode was a recap of that Rumble. We talked because Kurt Angle was back or coming back or whatever, and Jimmy Snuka had just died. So it was like it's just funny how things go. And then I don't remember, Greg, when did Cheap Heat start?
Oh man, I wasn't there from the start. I was just like a listener.
I know,
but
it started in 2013 as the My God cast.
Yep. It didn't even have a name, and it was just like
until it became Cheap Heat, and it was just Shoemaker and David Shoemaker and Peter Rosenberg at first. But there was like a pilot episode with David Shoemaker, I believe Goldstein or Zach Linder, Andrew Goldstein is like Zach, and maybe Jensen Karp, aka Hot Carl, and they talked about SummerSlam of that year, along with Ultimate Warrior coming to 2K, I believe.
You said that was 2013.
I believe so, because in fall of 2013, it becomes Cheap Heat, and then Gray comes in. I'd say summer 2015.
Okay.
Spring.
Oh.
Wow.
Really? I thought it was like.
Talk your shit, Drip.
You have to get the stat about the stat.
Yeah.
Guy. Correct.
I love this.
No, let him shine. My son was shining.
Well, no, I just want to go back because again, it was part of Grantland. Grantland has now been closed. It's been closed the last 5 years. It closed around this time 5 years ago, and those archives for those episodes are kind of gone in a way. Because I was trying to find the episode where Greg tells the best story in podcast history about The Boy Is Mine. Because I think it's like the 5-year anniversary. Because I believe that was the Survivor Series.
I think it was 2016, maybe.
You're
right. You're right. It was 2015.
Yeah, because that's when Roman won the tournament. Because that's the thing. I was going to tech college during the day and cleaning school at night, and I would listen to podcasts, and Cheap Heat was one of them. And I remember that episode because I rewinded it. I re-listened to that whole episode right when it was done because that Boy Is Mine part killed me, and I'm like trying not to laugh as I'm like cleaning, this school, doing janitor work. But yeah,
that's crazy.
That's kind of like summation.
Ever since 2016, nigga wanted to take your job.
You see,
wow, he been plotting.
Angling, yo.
No, but so you figured like
he had newspaper clippings. He had to
Yo, and was Xing you out.
Facts. Ready.
Davis got a sweatshirt just like that with my face on the red X. So
That's funny. But that's the thing. So it's like, Cheap Heat 2016. I believe Rassle Rap really started getting their feet wet in the pod in like 2017. And it was like summer 2017. But I was like, Black Announce Table, y'all 150 some odd episodes in. No disrespect. I believe it's 156, 157.
Yeah,
when did y'all what was it like? When did y'all really start peeping that this was a lane that y'all wanted to get into? Because I'm just trying to figure out
a lane that we wanted to get into. I'm like, it started. It's crazy how like the podcast started and stuff. Because like me and Eve was at a Henny Palooza.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, stop plugging other niggas.
Oh my bad. Yeah, but like we was just chilling, like, cause like me and Eve, we went to the same school. You know what I'm saying? We was cool, but it's never been like we wasn't like cool as we is now, of course. But I see Eve around and stuff, and then I seen him. I think I was like, yo, I want to do a podcast, and he was like, yo, I was thinking the same thing, but at the time it wasn't like. We didn't know like what we wanted to do, and then like I see on the timeline he talking about wrestling, I'm talking about wrestling and stuff, and then it suddenly I think it came. Did it come together on not that day, right? Did we say like we was going to do it?
Yeah, it was like through like the way that like the stories weave is like I'm kind of the middleman that bridges Chris and Cody, you know what I'm saying? So like I always knew Chris because like me and her we used to go to church together, and then I knew Cody from high school. So me and this nigga like we used to party and shit. And that same year, earlier in the year, me and Chris like we used to debate about like wrestling like on Twitter and shit because I'd see her like talking shit about Roman and shitting on AJ Styles. So like naturally I'm just, you feel me, I'm hating.
Sounds about right.
So you feel me, I'm a type back. So we used to go at it. But I remember she texted me one day like, yo, you want to go to SummerSlam? So I'm like, yeah, sure. And we was talking and we was like, I was just telling her like we was just catching up, and I was like, yeah, I've been thinking about doing a podcast. And she was like, yo, it's crazy because one of my coworkers told me I should start one too, a wrestling one, because I love wrestling. So I was like, and she asked me, she was like, yo, do you want to do it with me? And I was like, yeah, like I'll do it with you. What's up? So we kind of just had that like in the back of our mind, but we didn't like act on it till later. And then me and Cody, we was like on the way back home, we was just talking shit, like being stupid. And he was like, yo, I don't do nothing but watch wrestling and listen to R&B. I was like, we should do a wrestling podcast.
That is a tagline somewhere.
Facts. Put that on the shirt.
Yeah, he was like, I don't do nothing but watch wrestling and listen to R&B. I was like, bro, let's do a podcast. He was like, all right, bet. So I think I reached out to Chris. I was like, yo, I think I got somebody, a third person for us where it might be able to work. Like we all kind of know our shit, and I think it could work for us. So at the time, I was like collecting the things I needed to do the pod. Got the interface, the mics, and everything, which is funny because I bought mad microphones on Amazon. I bought like 6 mics, and they're all the wrong microphones. I didn't know what I was doing. But I got the interface, the laptops, the mics, everything. I go grab Cody. I remember the date, July 15th, man, 2017. Okay. Go pick him up. Go to Chris Hand's crib. First thing we ever did, we went to the store and got drinks. Like we went and got brews. You feel me? Got right, came back, and that day was the most difficult day of all time. So I'm like, we knew nothing about how to record. We didn't know nothing about sound. So when you was talking about the sound was shitty and you heard wind, nigga, we relate to that. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember the sound being shitty. You feel me? Second episode, there is no second episode from us. If you know, you know. Because we was in a rush to go to La Marina that day. RIP La Marina. We was in a rush to go uptown and mess with Dominican women. You know what I'm saying? That episode is scrubbed. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the growing pains, and you feel me? And since the first episode, we kind of gelled nice. And shouts to Rob, Chrisanne's her boyfriend. After the first episode we recorded, he was like, yo, y'all got something. And thinking about it, like, you just hearing it, it's like, all right, like, whatever. You feel me? You don't really pay no mind. But 3 years later, and you feel me, you see what's come from it. It's like, damn, like, maybe we really did have something. You know what I'm saying? It's special, for real.
Well, I think that's kind of that's the thing that I love about this assembly of pods and people, that this is why we're the delegation. And again, no diss to nobody else, but there's passion, there's creativity, but then there's also just like that willingness to put in the work, because there's a lot of people that will say they want to do the work and but they want to make sure the shit is right. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a phone and some shitty ass headphones, but there was a determination to be like, I need to stop looking at this goddamn private chat. There's a willingness just to be like, yo, at some point it's gonna make sense. At some point you keep doing it and it's gonna turn into something. And I gotta pour another shot. But
you know what I'll add to that too is that like the only overlap is on the surface level. Like Black Rasslin is completely different than Black Announce Table, is completely different than Cheap Heat. It's all completely different. So it's like, if you just say, oh, like these guys are black, and Chris and too, they do a podcast, and that's it. If you're not willing to look deeper, then okay, there's plenty of overlap. But if you actually listen to the shows and like tap in, it's all completely different experiences.
Right. And I think people forget because we're all black. No shot strip, but I think for a lot of people, there's already inherent thought of like, oh, these niggas, they don't know what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But if we were to really sit and be like, boom, we're going to do a wrestling podcast. It's going to be about what happened. And like, it's not like we couldn't talk. This like again, we just had Semper Vivi on the show. We talking new shit. We talking classic shit. Like, and the
dirty white boy.
Hey,
shouts out to the dirty white boy.
Shout hold on, Cal.
And the dirty white girl.
Hold on. So,
Greg, not the Umar voice.
Greg, you go over the top or you go through the ropes?
My God.
Over the top.
Thank you.
Oh, what he took a while. Oh no.
Wait a second. Eve, you go over the top or you go through the ropes?
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Okay. Hold on. Cody Dre, you go over the top or you go through the ropes?
I'm in the same boat. I don't know what that means.
All right, so this is where the conversation derives from. Me and my cousin.
When you pissing.
Me and my cousin have a conversation, and I say only a serial killer would piss through his dick hole. A real nigga is gonna go over the top rope.
Hey, yo, if you
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, yeah. No, over the top.
Sure. Yeah. You go over the top, right?
Sure. That makes sense. Yeah.
So why would you go through all of that material to piss through your dick hole?
Who got time for that though? That shit is like a maze. You feel me?
Him right here.
Who does?
This nigga.
I do.
Greg looked like a through the ropes nigga.
I apologize.
You're just going to disregard my answer?
Did you know what I was talking about?
I did not.
You go through the ropes?
But that's how you just got to live your life, yo. Over the top.
Greg said he did plancha.
I'm a habitual line stepper. I take everything that extra level. It doesn't need to go. It could be good right here. I'll take it right there. You know what I mean?
That's why Greg was doing the fucking Lover Man dance on the stage.
Over the top.
Cody Dre, you going through the ropes?
Nah, over the top, man.
Talk about it. I'm assuming a lot more guys go. They plancha.
This nigga go through the ropes.
That's different.
Absolutely. I use the piss hole.
If I'm not in a rush, though, I'll go through the ropes. Like if you know.
No, wait. Nah. Wait. You mean to tell me?
Also,
you mean to tell me
the joints with no button? That's just like.
Oh no! If you out here, listen. If you got on like shorts or sweatpants, you can't go through the ropes.
You just go over the top.
Right, but a day-to-day basis in the pad, you know what I mean? You got your work, your work giddy up on. You know what I'm saying? Hold on.
Greg, if you a PD, right? I don't know if you a PD or not. So let's say you between cases. This nigga done jaywalk 75 times. This
nigga be painting this pretty of a picture with a nigga about to piss.
Nah, legit.
You got 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes between.
You have untucked every piece of clothing you have to go through the ropes.
Nah, you don't untuck to go through the ropes.
Facts.
What you put through your t-shirt?
Go over the ropes.
How long is your shirt?
I think this nigga mad for checking his shirts on this balls. Nigga, what's wrong with you?
I love
it. Go ahead.
No,
it's
my
all
bad, Cal. I'm back on mute.
But again, that kind of speaks to what Greg was talking about, how each one of our podcasts is different. We'll start a show talking about planching out your pants and shit, but because again, it sounds like a lot of 2016, 2017 was a year where this type of like, I don't want to say I was like 5 years early, but it feels like that 1 year, that time frame was really the time frame. But at some point, Black Announce Table started a Discord. That's some real like.
Well, yeah, top of this year, early this year.
Of
the like the first 2020, you started it.
Yeah, it was 2020 part 1.
Yeah, we had
when it was natural, things was normal outside.
Facts. But it's like that's kind of like the thing. It's like we might have went into like the merch game early and like. Well, I don't want to say that because Sheep Heat was doing a lot of shit, but it's like there's certain avenues and certain lanes that people go to. And here he go, he got the whole shit on the hanger and everything.
Ooh, on the hanger.
But of course,
hey man, stop doing that to your t-shirts.
Yeah, I don't hang. I throw them shit, ball them up, throw them right in the fucking thing. But it would like the future of what we're all doing under this umbrella would be, let's start a community on the Discord, and that's how we met fucking stat guy Drip. I don't know what you want to call him right now. It's funny how, like I said, how things branch out and how things circle and how it turns into there's a certain group of people who are doing different things, kind of moving in unison without even really realizing, you know what I'm saying? So I really just wanted to get, was it Matt, were you the one that started calling us a delegation? Because we took that shit from Mark Henry.
I can't remember. Mark Henry ain't deserve it.
Well, you know what?
You
know what I realized? The very first episode that I did on my own of the Black Rasslin Podcast was a Mark Henry tribute episode.
That's amazing.
Delete that.
That shit's been off the internet because it was like media fire links and shit, and then it was Hulk share. But like all the streaming sites, all those download sites, they killed all again because I was playing Action Bronson and like whatever new shit was popping that I was listening. It was like if I started the Black Rasslin Podcast now, we would have a segment and then I'd play like 3 Griselda records, and then we get to like that's just what it was. But you can't host that on SoundCloud. You know what I mean? That shit is, the internet's gonna fucking kill that shit. But anyway, that's the reason why I wanted to get everybody the delegation. So I appreciate y'all for taking the time to come through and celebrating with us. I wanted to because we're talking Thanksgiving.
Before we get there, I had a couple of questions for niggas. So for even Cody, I found out about y'all niggas from listening to them niggas. You know what I'm saying? From listening to Cheap Heat. I remember the nigga Pete was bringing up he was like, yo, I found this super New York podcast, and they was, you know what I mean, they was faxing niggas to death, and you know what I mean, it was a really New York podcast, and it's called the Black Announce Table, and I was pissed immediately because the name is amazing, right?
It's an amazing name.
I was pissed immediately. I was like, nigga, that's perfect. I wish I had thought about that. Let me see what these niggas talking about. So I cut y'all niggas on immediately. So I guess, what was that like? I don't know if y'all niggas was already listening to Cheap Heat or not, but I would assume you were because we do what we do. But like, what was that like? Like one of the bigger niggas in that sort of lane, kind of shouting y'all out really early.
Nah, that's a fact, and I think this is a Miss Suku would be probably better to answer this one because
that's what Chris is doing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If you want to take over, I'm not really sure how that
Yeah, it basically went down. I think Chris Ann. It comes back to Roman Reigns. It comes
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
back to the tribal chief somehow, some way. So Chris Ann, I guess Rosenberg had said something about Roman Reigns on Twitter, and Chris Ann defended her man. You know what I'm saying? She's in the mentions, and I guess that caught Rosenberg's eye. And she was like, I don't know what the talks was, but eventually she was just like, yo, yeah, like I got a wrestling podcast, like check us out. And Rosenberg, he checked us out, and you feel me, he gave us that look quick. And shouts to Greg, dude. I think it was like an honorable mention one week, and then the week after, Greg was like, yo, Black Power Rankings, check these guys out.
Yeah, because Rosenberg mentioned it while it was doing it. It was like, yo, I'm putting them on, and I'm like, you can't. This is
white this is my segment.
Yeah, exactly. But I did. I checked it out, and I was like, you know what? It's exactly as it was described, like a New York podcast. It was just like so New York.
Mm-hmm. And this is episode. We may be like 3-4 episodes in.
Wow. I remember right after, like I looked it up because Rosenberg mentioned it, and I'm like, oh shit, like another wrestling podcast to listen to. And again, like Pam said, it's the best name ever because I'm like Spanish announce table, Black and that, like wow. Perfect. And then I think it was only 3 episodes in. I'm like, oh shit, like they just started, and like you said, the second episode, it's gone, kind of like it might have been available. Like there's one episode you listen early on and you can barely hear anything, like you've said, like there was technical difficulties. But after that, I started listening every episode going forward. I was like, it became, again, I was driving all over the place working, and I'd listen to podcasts is what I would do. Cheap Heat, Black Announce Table, other ones.
I think that was
in my rotation.
So I like that Eve talked about making the Black Power Rankings, right?
Right.
Black Power Rankings is also where BRP and Cheap Heat intersect. When Greg started doing the Black Power Rankings, I added the nigga on Twitter, and I was like, fam, we do Black Rasslin of the Week already.
Every week.
And in Greg fashion, I don't even know if you remember this, Greg, you reply with the Ethiopian pirate meme. Look at me. I am the captain now.
And that's me to you, Greg. That's me.
Wait. We'll get to that.
In my defense, I had already been on Black Rasslin at that point.
Facts.
So
our first guest. Don't forget.
Yeah, so it wasn't like disrespect. It was just like, jokes. This is what we do. And I saw it different, like Black Wrestler of the Week versus the rankings. It's like you got one guy. I'm giving you like a top 3. There is some overlap there, but I didn't really think I was stepping on any toes. So I was just like, you know what? You got a thing that's working for you. I got something that's working for me. This can still work. This can still work.
And I will say,
I want to know, is that appearance right on the first appearance of Greg on our show, was that because there's 2 Gregs. There is Cheap Heat Greg, right, and then there's my nigga Greg. Like you know what I'm saying?
Discord Greg.
Like I don't think Greg's gonna tell a nigga he wilding the way he's supposed to. Sometimes like nigga you wilding like on other places, but when Greg get outside, Greg get outside. I want y'all to know this.
I think it might have been Cheap Heat Greg that you got the first guest. Might have been Cheap Heat Greg.
I'm with it.
Might have been. But I'll say this too about the BRP 50 is that, listen, I'd never seen anything like it, and then I've seen it pop up in a lot of different places,
right? And
I've seen a lot of other people getting credit, but I don't. Even if they didn't know you guys, there's no way that after we signal boosted it, because I think that first one we made sure it went everywhere. Mm-hmm. Like it's not a thing that anybody else could say they came up with,
right,
or anything like that. Like everybody knows where it came from, and they know every year where it comes from, because once y'all let me know it's out and it's dropped, I make sure that everybody knows where they can find it and who's top 10 and all of that. So
we talk about flowers here. This nigga here.
Facts.
Right?
Shout your cousin out.
Cuz put in the work, and he turns into an entire butthole during the process.
2 hours in a Zoom, 2 hours arguing about number 49.
Stop
like,
it.
nah. You ain't.
Stop it.
You gotta watch 7 matches right now before you can even talk to me about number 49, nigga. Like, and it wasn't even the first year. It was 4 months ago, 5 months ago.
Hold on. The fly shit is one of the niggas got mentioned this week, right? Or last week. Cuz gave him a shout out as his Black Wrestler, right?
AR Fox. Yeah. Facts.
Right.
Say less.
On me.
And I will say, like, because I'm old and because of the way things go, like Black Rasslin was late to Instagram, right? But before Black Rasslin came back as a podcast with these two, these are my brothers. I don't care what nobody said. It's past being friends. I imagine Cody and Eve. Shit, the way I feel about Greg sometimes, it's like we're family at this point. I don't like using the term. Shut up, Drip. All right, you know what it is, Drip. You on the pod every week, but it was one of those things where when I said, you know what, I'm not really rocking like crazy with Instagram, but let's bring Black Rasslin to Instagram, and it was just Black folk, and I remember, was it 2014, it was a minute ago. I'd have to go back. And that February it was, you don't post all the time, but every day we're going to post a Black wrestler, we're going to post Black wrestling facts about that pro wrestler. And I feel like it was like 2 years later where a lot of the other, Black wrestling Instagram pages, I don't want to sound like that, but that was a trend throughout the month. So especially Brother Math was like, you know what? Instead of doing that, we need to come up with it because there's so much talent out there. And it's what we do. We highlight a lot. That was the genesis of the whole site of Black Rasslin was going to be just highlighting the stories from these people that we watch and we associate with, because it's only 3 or 4 of them on TV every week. You know what I'm saying? So we need to elevate those voices. And he said, we about to do, at first it was going to be 100.
It was going to be 100 at first.
That's a struggle.
It was. I had to talk him off the
He cut me off at the leg. He cut me off at the knees.
It's too
like, nah.
It's too
that's
much.
Everybody. Facts,
but like we're not getting paid. We're even with the merch. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like people are swimming in money. It's we breaking even. We're getting back what we put in to print all this product. So there's no. If we had the time and we were getting paid to do 100 and really do that research, bet. But we said 50, and we devised it, and I was still shocked that when that Juneteenth, when we dropped the first BRP 50, that it started to take hold, and it was because Fam is the one that listens to all the podcasts. Fam knows everything about everything, and I believe he was the one that said, look. Greg and them, he mentioned you on. He mentioned the BRP 50 on the Black Power ranking. It was like, oh shit, shit. And I remember it's fun. It's funny, but
I think that week 2 it was just like, you know what, the number 1 on the rankings is another ranking. So like, I don't care. It's mine. 53 this week.
And shout out to you for holding this down. I remember both instances when you talked about the BRP 50. The first time. And when you said 50, Rosenberg said 50?
Yeah.
It's 50 of them?
The funny part is I've worked with Rosenberg, but we've never really talked wrestling. I don't know if Rosenberg knows that I do I know he knows about Black Wrestling because we've talked about it a number of times, but he might not never had the conversation. Yeah,
I don't know that it's you.
And no disrespect, I don't really care. Like, it's not about that.
Suge Knight. Like, yo, Suge Knight work on the show with me and shit.
You fucking stupid. But it's funny to be now in 2020. I gotta do another one. Shit. In 2020,
nah, Cody, I see that shit.
That's funny. I'll take one more for my dog. Man.
Yeah, my.
This might be the last one.
I gotta get my shot glass, man.
I'm the designated potter. I'm not doing all that.
No, we got this.
Stop being an adult, Greg.
That's why I
taking it
back.
Stop being an adult, Greg.
Yeah, you taking mine for me. You got it.
Thanks.
This summer, well, was it last year that it was another guy that did the BWI?
That was
I think it was either last year or this year. I can't remember.
250?
Yeah.
Oh wait, because wasn't the BWI dude? Did it just start this year? Yeah, I'm about to say because he did it last year, right? And it was this year at some point between whenever he did his list a month or so after we did, because again, Juneteenth, there was a reason why the BRP 50 dropped that day.
Facts.
He was following Black Rasslin on Twitter, and there's no way you didn't know because again, Greg talked. Everybody was talking.
Mm-hmm.
There's not too much that people talk about the Black Rasslin Podcast, but the BRP 50 was something that everybody was talking about.
Message.
Big facts. He was following us, and at some point he unfollowed us, but he tried to act like he didn't see it, and he did a BWI whatever in 2019.
He followed us too. We know your name. Playboy.
The thing is, I don't even know his name. Is the problem.
Cody, play the song. Cody, play the song.
Hold on. The only nigga getting us canceled is me.
Facts.
Let's be clear.
Big facts.
Throwing up signs again, but you know.
No, do not do that, Drip. Do not do that, because again,
put him backstage.
When we have a pod brunch and you throwing up B's and C's, I'm not fighting those guys. If it's shouts out to anybody affiliated, I'm not swinging with you because I don't know what the hell you got in the holster.
This is what I'm doing.
Oh my God. World Star Greg.
World Star, nah. 2020, well, sometime between last summer and the BWI or the PWI, their regular shit in 2020, they hired this man. I don't know what capacity he works in at PWI for their list, but he dropped the list. It was the BWI. Was it 250?
I think it was 250.
No, it's 500.
It was really like the 246 though, right? Because there was names that was on it couple times.
Nah, I thought it was $5 to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Whatever this,
it was $5.
It was
but
whatever
like,
the number. Whatever number they said it wasn't the number. Because people was on it twice. It was people that was not supposed to be on it. That was.
Yeah, I think JT
was it who was it that said like, yo, I didn't wrestle this year, so why am I?
Facts.
That's crazy.
We got that message saying my nigga only had a couple matches and shit, and I'm like, relax. You had a couple matches this year. But you had a gang last year. Relax, I got you. Don't worry about it. But this individual here had duplicates of maybe 2 or 3 people. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is he took it like the way I was coming at him. He took it like I wanted our name to be attached to his shit. Nah, my nigga.
No.
If you're gonna put this out there, don't have them attached to it, so they take credit for it. You understand what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, not to be cliche, we want the niggas that's on the list to get the shine.
And just to add to that too, this is the funny thing, right? Like the PWI 500, the Tag Team 50, the Women's 50, or whatever it is, they got a whole magazine spread. The whole thing is dedicated to their list, right?
Yep.
The BRP 50, you got podcasts, posts, you got a lead up, you got something.
We had a post. Shouts out to the Black Rasslin Alliance. We did have an after the 50 this year because there were again. Shouts out to Matt for being the historian and getting all this information in. There were extra names that could have made the 50.
So like
that became another whole thing.
It's a whole rollout. It's a whole thing. Like. This dude had a social media list and like a tweet, and it was in like, landscape. That was it.
It was 250 some names in one image. That was it looked like it could have been somebody's background on their desktop.
Yeah, you couldn't even read it.
That's nasty.
Yeah, and they got niggas out the way early.
Facts.
Like yo, they got you out the way in 2 days.
It was
like, that's not the point. You know what I'm saying?
Not if you're really trying to do something.
Right, but you let them dictate what it was.
Because
that's all I was trying to say.
A magazine would have been nice. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Something. They could have done a Diversity Day episode, Diversity Day magazine, and put that shit in CBS for like $15 if they really wanted. If they was really about it, you know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
Now I know Eve loaded the bazookas early. Eve said, "Look," Eve said, "Fucking P." What's your issue with PWI though, Eve? Like, is it the tag team shit? Like, what's going on?
It's bullshit. That's my issue with it. It's a list of 500 niggas don't make the 500 top niggas don't make sense. What's top about 500? The last nigga, the 500 niggas, Dan the Dad. Who is that? I never heard of Dan the Dad in my life. 500 does not make sense. And then you're doing another list for women and another list for tag teams. Have one list with all these people. You feel me? You putting 500? It just doesn't add up to me. It doesn't make sense. That shit is stupid, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. PWI,
Dan the Dad.
And then
so this man is 500.
He's 500, dog.
Who is this?
He's
like a whole
500,
librarian.
Y'all doing a list for women and tag teams.
This nigga
Dan the Dad looks like he religiously.
Come on, he does look like
he looks like cereal.
That nigga look like Zelina Vega.
That nigga look like a
relax,
teacher, bro.
My bad, Cody.
The list, it just don't make sense, and I felt like they was reaching with the tag team list.
Hold on, Eve.
The tag team one is a.
Hold on, Greg. Hold on.
Wait, one sec, Drake. Can you pull up the PWI tag team match?
Hold on, Cal. Because they're watching this, don't give them game on how to fix it.
No, of course. I want to.
They're watching this for sure.
They watching PWI. If you watching this is me. My name right there. Y'all running a sloppy shop. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say this.
Not even that. They got co-opted, man. Like so clearly. I mean, there's no. Listen. Anybody who's been listening back knows that I rock with the Shield from all the way back, and I've defended Moxley when they separated, and everybody was like, Dean Ambrose is trash. I rocked with him. He's not the number one wrestler of the year. Even if that time period, even with that criteria. And then the same thing with FTR. When they was the Revival, I'm a defender. I've defended them when they went to
your mic, brother, man.
When they went to
Drip is ready.
I'm gonna be honest. If you pay attention, I wanted to hear Cody here too.
If you pay attention,
let him go.
There's two talents or that I do not slander on the other side. There's Moxley is slander proof. FTR is slander proof for me. They did not belong in the number one spots this year with that criteria, especially not FTR.
Chip Wheeler. Chip Wheeler, you rock with him?
Yeah, that's my guy.
Gosh, why?
Listen, I rocked with them before they pulled up on Homeboy at the Hall of Fame for Brett, and then stomped them out.
That's their highlight.
I rocked.
That's their highlight.
I rocked with them before that, but it's just like they're not the number one team, yo. Like Bailey and Sasha Banks or the Kabuki Warriors. That's your number one tag team of the year.
Bailey and Sasha Banks, number one.
You're not gonna say Street Profits?
No.
Fuck no.
Okay. Fuck no.
And I love Street Profits.
But Street Profits even had a better run than FTR.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So if you want to say top three,
I do not agree with FTR being number one at all. Like I just didn't agree with that at all. Like you got
they had 2 months of momentum.
Now who would you say?
Exactly.
Who's number one, Cody?
Number one.
Who they had Kenny and Adam Page is number two. I could see that. I could see them being number one.
What?
Yeah.
Drugs.
Hey,
did you see the matches?
Put him backstage.
Only thing I go to
Cody backstage.
I gotta defend Cody. He's accurate.
I gotta go to the matches.
Wait, Drip.
They had better matches than the Golden Role Models and the Kabuki Warriors.
Hell yeah!
The Kabuki Warriors had one match that was better than every match that Kenny Omega and Adam Page had together, and Kyrie was out for half the match.
I like it.
Kyrie was under the ring for half the match, and they still had a better match than anything those boys ever did over there. Any tag team match in AEW doesn't even come close to what the Kabuki Warriors did with Charlotte and Big.
That's drug.
That's drug.
And Kyrie was out for half the match.
Drip, do you have the top 5 of the PWI? What's their? Right, I honestly I've not looked at their.
Untuck your turtleneck and pull up the top 5.
My question though is does FTR automatically lose a spot or 2 for being anti-flip and then they get on pay-per-view and flip?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
No,
it's part of the story.
It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense.
Unless the story is that they got stupid when they went down south, then yes, it's part of the story.
No, it makes perfect sense.
The story is that they were chasing stars, is what they were doing.
No, they weren't. They weren't chasing stars. They're showing you that they can do what these niggas do.
No,
that's the point.
Exactly, and it ended up costing them. He missed. It ended up costing them at the end.
Right?
That's part of the shit.
That was part of it.
Yeah, I know, but they did it because they know it would add an extra star from Meltzer.
No,
PWI is in the bag for AEW. We gotta just admit it at this point. Moxley at 1, FTR at number 1 on the tag team. Something's going on.
Hey, who should have been number 1 on the
Well, here's the top. Here's the top 10.
When did the Profits win that?
Adam Cole should have been
Evolve belt. When did the Profits win?
The Profits won it at.
That wasn't last year.
They would have before.
Let's see what the stat guy.
I want to know what that list is.
Right.
Let's go to the stat guys.
I have the top 10 right now. It's FTR, Kenny Omega, and Adam Page. The Golden Role Models, Bayley, Sasha Banks. The North, Ethan Page and Josh Alexander. They're in Impact. 5 is the Street Profits. 6 is Gorillas of Destiny. 7 is the Lucha Bros. 8's the New Day. 9 is the Kabuki Warriors. And 10 is Roppongi 3K.
The Lucha Bros are 7.
That's what I said.
7. That's
wow.
Crazy.
The Street Profits won. Street Profits won that championship October 28th, 2018.
Yeah, they won before they won the NXT titles. That was the big thing.
Right. Damn. They got 2 AEW teams at 1 and 2.
That's absurd.
And one of them is just 2 niggas together. That's not even
Literally.
That are better than the so-called greatest tag team in wrestling. Now, how can this man say that the match with the Young Bucks and Hangman and Page is not better than that? All because he hates the Young Bucks but likes FTR. How, Greg? Explain that to me.
The Young Bucks have one trick. Just because every time
they Young Bucks have one trick. Just
because every time they pull it out, you get razzle dazzled. The Young Bucks are a one-trick pony. Or they flip, they jump around. The Young Bucks,
Mo and Joe Buck.
The Young Bucks need NXT more than anybody that I've ever seen in all of wrestling.
I think Cody Dre has a point he wants to make.
Did you happen to see the Young Bucks in the FTR match at Full Gear?
Yes.
And how do you feel about that match?
That match, the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson,
Mo and Joe Buck. Yeah.
Matt Jackson needs NXT badly. Okay, and I'll tell you why. They do things that slow down the match because they wait for the audience. Watching a Young Bucks match is like watching a sitcom with a laugh track. Just because you play the button and you hear the laugh track doesn't mean that the joke landed. It doesn't mean that what you did was so great. And that is the one trick that they rely on for every one of their matches. That's why I call them a one-trick pony, because they got the laugh track.
If I had the soundboard, I would have went funk flip.
The Young Bucks is friends.
FTR is like watching a 1950s movie when people are like, look at it, it's nothing happens, there's no special. It's like,
that's crazy.
FTR is Casablanca. Yeah, FTR is Casablanca, and that's not what. And that's not hitting like you think it is. It's not hitting like you think it is.
All right, wait.
FTR is Alfred Hitchcock, and that's not the insult that you think it is.
Don't you ever fucking say that again.
Wait.
The Young Bucks are friends.
We have to be balanced. So, Dre, why are they wrong? Why are you saying they wrong?
About what? About the
About everything.
I just feel about the match, the last match. I felt like FTR, the Young Bucks told a story last match. They told that.
What was the story? That Matt Jackson can heal his leg when he needs to because he doesn't need to sell because he's waiting for the laugh track. And
it's different. It's different from any Young Bucks match. They work the slower pace, and then on the FTR side, that at the end of the match, what cost them is the same shit they go against. It's like they're adding this into their models type. Like it's like they're showing you how shit can like they can do the other shit. Like they're not just a one trick pony. Not all FTR matches are this way, and
yes,
not all. And Young Bucks could tell a story.
Here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with that argument, right?
Okay.
One, FTR, I'll agree with you. They're not just a one trick pony because they've come from WWE where no two tag teams are alike. No two tag teams are alike. You had the FDR who wrestled one style that was different from the Usos, that was different from AOP, that was different from American Alpha, that was different from the New Day. All three versions of the New Day, mind you. And FTR wrestled them all. So FTR, you can drop them in with any style of wrestler, and you know you're going to get a serviceable match, if not a great match, because they had to be that way in WWE. The Young Bucks on the other side, they have these flippy tag team action-packed matches that they have with every team because every team is trying to be them. So when you drop the FTR in that match, it's going to be a different match because the FTR knows what they're doing. That's number one. Number two, the Young Bucks, you can tell when they're playing the lead and versus when they're being led because they do these over choreographed spots and then they pose for the camera. Yeah. Look at the crowd. They make the same face and you eat it up because you laughing with the laugh track.
I love it.
I eat it up. If you watch,
you eat it up because you're laughing with the laugh track. You say, oh, they're telling a great story because they're hitting the same beats. Yeah, they Humpty Dumpty you to the death. He sat on the wall. He had a great fall. He hit all the King's horses and all the King's men. Couldn't put them together again. Matt's holding his knee. He's hurt, but he pulled it out. So they were a great story. They hit the same beats every time. They hit the same beats every time.
Look.
So I think for me, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not a big like AEW nigga, right? But I think the difference
handshake emoji.
The difference is with these guys, because they do a lot more storyline building on TV and what they do with their YouTube.
I was gonna say they do a lot of storyline building on YouTube that supplements what goes on TV. But yeah,
during the year, you or during the week, a lot of times you're not getting a lot of Young Bucks matches, and if it is, it's against some new indie niggas that they want to beat up this week. Shout out AEW for beating up niggas. So when I said earlier that it was the Street Profits, is because in the most important and hardest time of the entire wrestling year, the niggas were trying to figure out what to do with no fans in wrestling. Who did the heavy lifting on TV? When
niggas.
There were Monday Night Raws where the Profits were wrestling 3-segment matches over an hour on Monday. And niggas always like to talk. Sunday wrestling is great, but Monday wrestling is more important. What I mean,
because it's work, it's real work.
Is Sunday or for AEW or Saturday nights, their pay-per-view work is supposed to be like that's the glam and glitz, but that's also the sprinkles on top of the Sunday. The ice cream that does the work is that Monday work, and Street Profits have put in more Monday work than any other tag team on television.
Same. Shouts out to Selena
Vega. Just to add to that too, like if you're talking about over the criteria period or the evaluation period, I mean, there were Mondays where they had the most popular segments and they didn't have to wrestle. Like they dropped them in as like narrators.
Right.
They were like the hosts of Monday Night Raw. This is on top of the tag team stuff that they were doing in the ring.
But they was barely in the ring though. Were they
in the ring more or less than the number one tag team in the PWI 500?
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Look,
let me make this clear. I don't agree with them being number one at all. I don't. That's wrong.
And then ask yourself this: were they in the ring actually competing in matches more or less than the other tag team that was just two dudes put together? Because AEW has the rankings. You can see right there. You can see right there how many times Hangman Page and Kenny Omega actually competed in tag team matches.
Facts.
I have to see.
They held the belts hostage. This is what is really the answer. They won them and they didn't do anything with them.
So the Street Profits not doing that right now?
Wow, that's a good point.
Can we be real about it?
That's a good point.
And
Because wait,
hold on. Is it Uchiwali or is it one Mike? Because I seem to remember people complaining about the Street Profits having too many title defenses.
But wait, don't
was
forget though, Greg, don't forget. They took it was they had that one segment during the draft. It was like, look, y'all tag team champions over here, bet. Let's just switch belts.
Yeah, but that was after the evaluation period.
But they don't give the thing is they don't give a fuck about that stuff. They really don't.
The reason why I'm coming down on the Street Profits is because half of the year they were doing sporting events with what's the Viking
Raiders.
So I'm like, and then the other half they wrestle Andrade and Garza for like, in theory, I don't know whichever combination you put it in.
It was Quarantine Part 1, yeah. That was Quarantine Part 1.
Matches.
The Street Profits are losing points for doing sporting events, but actually being on TV as a team every week. And then you have nothing to say about the FTR sitting at home for most of the night.
Hold on, Greg.
And Hangman Page and Kenny Omega.
He wasn't caping for FTR. He wasn't caping for FTR.
He was caping for Hangman and Omega, though. And they barely spent time together. Hangman and FTR barely spent time together.
I'm not caping for that. I'm just like you guys brung up the Street Profits, and I'm just telling you why I'm not putting them like number one. Or
who would have been your number one tag team?
My number one tag team would be Adam Page and Kenny Omega.
Jesus Christ.
And see that
Drip. What you say, Drip? Hold on. Drip has some shit to say.
How can Greg be like the FTR? They're so good, but then like they only worked.
Oh God! Here you go.
So you're slandering your own point. You're contradicting yourself with that.
No, contradicting because you're not following the point. I enjoy FTR. I enjoy FTR. FTR does good work. I like their matches.
So that makes sense.
But and here's where it separates, right? Me enjoying them has nothing to do with them being deserving of being the number one tag team based on the criteria and the evaluation period that PWI set out. Because if you talk about wins and losses, momentum, it factor, and things like that, they didn't sustain it for a year. They were protesting and sitting at home for most of that time. Then they had to wait out their contract, and then they show up at AEW where, it builds up, but you're telling me that the 3 months that they had, you stack that up against somebody like the Street Profits or like Sasha and Bailey or the Kabuki Warriors, and that the 3 months that they had is as good as the year that these other teams had, and it's just not factual. Even if I did enjoy what they did in those 3 months, it's not factual.
I want to ask what Sasha and Bailey's record is compared to FTR. We're all embedded in this conversation.
I do want to say this is what I was talking about when I said niggas might be niggas, but niggas if we get in a zone and we want to have that pro wrestling I said it and then it happened. Is all I'm trying to say. I also didn't. FTR debuted May 27th of 2020. I don't remember what they did before May of this year.
When does the ranking start?
Yeah, this at home.
September 2019.
October
2019 to September 2020.
I don't know if 5 months. I don't know what they did in 5 months is
4
months is. Thank you, fam. Thank you, Matt. I don't think 4 months is indicative of a number one spot.
Especially when you had Bailey and Sasha Banks, who were the hottest tag team.
Trying to tell y'all.
And the hottest solo acts across 3 shows.
So what's the
Solo got it? Nah,
and
Solo ain't
SmackDown.
got nothing.
Solo don't have nothing to do with it.
Compared to Hangman
Solo don't have
Page.
nothing to do with it. But I'm just saying that if you want to pad their resume, like they had all the gold at one point.
What?
It was brief. It was brief, but they had all the gold. It was at one point when you remember, right?
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
I've been
trying to tell these motherfuckers for a year that Bailey was that shit, and then it was a point where Bailey had the belt, and then they had the belts, and then the whole thing was the women's division in WWE circled around them. It was Bailey, Sasha, and Asuka. What are we talking about?
And if you remember, right,
that Charlotte got out the way like she needed to, because Charlotte was hindering everyone else because of how Cena-ish they booked her. But that's a whole nother. Really quick, can I give my niggas Cody and Eve a little bit of flowers, especially Cody. Now, I am often guilty of seeing black performers on TV and being more than just a bit biased when I see them.
Mm-hmm.
Cody does not fall victim to said things.
I love it.
Cody is the nigga who always like, hey, I like the nigga too, but he's a nigga still.
But
remember, he's a nigga. And you know how they going to do him.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's so I appreciate the lack of sauce when it comes to black wrestlers or wrestlers. I mean, depending on what side of the map you're from.
How old you are.
Yeah, 100%. I appreciate that, and if I appreciate that you don't quite care sometimes about wrestling or anybody else that's there. You know what I mean? You just gonna get your bars off. And my nigga Greg is one of my favorite audio arguers. The nigga I believe the term that they've coined on their show is that he is a contortionist, which
I'm suing whoever said that too. Whoever can, the lawsuit's coming for whoever coined that phrase.
I thought that was your man's Pete, right?
Nah, it was in the email. I'm gonna find the email. The lawsuit's coming.
Oh, all right.
Dang.
Well, but they listen. They definitely carried on with it, and it's ridiculous. I hope that's water pouring. However,
I just got my COVID test back. I'm negative.
That's what's up.
This test number 2, my nigga.
That's been the case your whole life, nigga. You've been negative your whole life. I've known you a long time.
Your mother, bitch.
No, but the ill part is I'm gonna tell it, and I mean it is what it is. Yeah, she's up here too. I'm definitely telling her. I feel like niggas come together for these kind of events. Shout out for Black Announce Table had us through for their 100th episode.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did 100, and I think we got to keep celebrating these milestones because we're not gonna be celebrated externally. So we got to make our own gardens of flowers, and we talking about gardens and flowers. Do we want to have like? There's a brunch coming up, right?
Look, I wanted because that's
COVID pending.
Fact.
That's a conversation we've had. I mean, for people that want to know how the pods are made, we have a group chat with pretty much all of us. I'm sorry, Drip, but I mean this happened pre you. But we have these conversations, and we've talked about we've joked about the pod brunch a lot. Eve talking about $100K for a fucking a signature at some point.
100,000.
This might be the last shot out of this. I only got a half pint, but
drink something else. Find something else to drink.
Look, I got this. I just cracked.
Okay,
this.
let me pull up, man.
I just cracked this. This is half a shot in this motherfucker. A third of a shot. Damn, I killed this whole bottle.
Drip. You better grab that Reuniti.
Reuniti is funny.
That's an old Nick joke.
Reuniti is funny.
Nigga, if you don't drink that out the bottle,
nah, I can't.
pour on a shot. What's up with you?
I can't drink it out the bottle. Pause.
Both of y'all.
Come on, Eve. You know me better than that. You know what I do.
Come on.
Damn.
I'm classy.
Classy.
Cheers, brothers.
We gotta go to
Dominicanos.
Hey.
We go into the pod brunch with shot glasses in hand. That's what you need. The fucking shits on the necklace.
I'm not using no shot glasses at the Pod Nation brunch. I'm gonna be just like it.
Fair, yeah.
Now we need that Street Profits necklace with the mini red solo cup.
Oh man.
Yo, shout out to people.
Y'all remember? I'm sure y'all remember. You remember when Nori had a iced out Newport 100 chain?
Yup.
I'm getting an iced out Douce bottle, and I'm rolling through.
I love it.
That's nasty.
I love it.
I'm gonna be honest. At this point, I don't think whatever events the good folks over at the E have should predicate what events we have. I feel like once outside open, niggas just need to pick a location and go ahead and have a brunch and pull up wherever and Uber home.
Yeah.
Can we tell the story about how the Pod Nation brunch, or like how that just came to be?
That's your story, my nigga. Go ahead.
Yeah, go in.
Damn, it was this year, and I think it was early. I guess it was around like the Rumble time.
Right.
You know how like every year around the Grammys, Rock Nation, they do their Rock Nation brunch.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, I guess I forgot what was going on. I think it might have been around like Black History Month. I was like, yo, all the Black podcasters need to link up. Black wrestling podcasters, we need to do this like a little Rock Nation brunch type of thing. You know what I'm saying? That kind of took off on Twitter. And unfortunately, you feel me, the COVID happened, but it's still something that we joke about it, but it could really be done. You know what I'm saying?
It could happen.
It could really happen, man. I really want to see that come to life for real. Because I think it would be dope to see. Two, the main reason I want to do it is because I feel like Fam was talking about how we just got to show each other love. I feel like all of us, we in the same space, but all of our shows is different. You know what I'm saying? Like Black Rasslin is nothing like Black Announce Table. It's nothing like Cheap Heat. It's nothing like Jabba Tiz. Everybody, we all in the same space, but all our shit is different and unique. You know what I'm saying? So if we come together, just show love, be fans of one another. That's really, you feel me, what my whole shit is about. Let's pull up, let's drink some, you feel me, smoke some, dance. You feel me? Of course, I need 100,000 women in the spot too.
See, this is the problem.
I don't. I do not.
So this is a problem too. This is a twofold problem.
Good luck with that.
So you having a wrestling event, you want a bunch of women there. There's a couple problems there. If you want women, you know how they going. Never mind. Look, so all right, and there are definitely exceptions, but okay, whatever. Also, you are talking about an event where you know what I mean. You know who's gonna be here. It's gonna be some hounds in there, and it's gonna be some married niggas in there.
Well, I will say, but also, because I was listening to Black Announce Table, the most recent pod, and y'all mentioned that Suku needs some like friends who are women. And sure. I know in the last couple pods, it's been like, look, it's gonna be a whole bunch of niggas.
Too many niggas, man. I'll be out, bro. I ain't gonna front. You feel me? I can't. Shout to the fellas, but it's like, come on, man. You feel me?
It's gonna be with niggas that are fans of our individual shows. It's going to be one nigga there. Yo, remember? Do you remember In Your House 92?
No.
Now ain't the time for that, Chief.
Nigga, go in your house. Nigga, I'm trying to
read the room.
Go in your house.
Read the room, fella.
Go in your house might need to be the name of this episode.
I'm not the wrestling guy in the street. Don't run up on me with wrestling facts.
Nah, it's not the time. It's not the time.
None of that shit, my nigga.
I want to hear that shit.
All right. Wait. To tag on to what Math just said. If y'all want to have those conversations, listen to the pods every week, and all of us. I'm just like we are these again. The past 20, 30 minutes y'all just listen to. That is the wrestling conversation y'all get at some point.
If we gonna drink, we're gonna drink shots on me. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't mind. Don't come to me with wrestling facts, my nigga. I don't care.
Yeah, now ain't the time for that. We know we all wrestling fans, man. Right now, I'm trying to see what Charlie Caruso talking about.
Hey, yeah.
Don't be correct,
brother. You feel me? You all the time you Charlie Caruso high, man. You gotta pick now.
Right.
You gotta pick and choose.
Who?
You.
I've been Charlie Caruso high. What do you mean?
Have you?
Nah,
I've never heard her name out of
nigga jump off the roof.
You're not in that part of the Discord. That's why. Damn.
White women part?
What part is that?
That's
ain't it his?
He talking about horny Discord.
That's the name of the cow.
That's meat in your hand Discord. That's the name of the chat.
That's the name of that. That's crazy.
I'm out. Ayo.
That's not the. I'm not in that part of Discord. Look, niggas is leaving now, right? But I mean, look, that's the thing. When Black Announce Table Discord first started, it was a general chat. I'm like, yo, we talk about wrestling, da da da. This is dope. We was getting people in the Zoom, blah blah blah. And then it was, what was it? Shouts out to my West Indians. What was Gallus? Am I saying that right?
That's right in the back, the Gallus chat. You feel me?
It was a Gallus chat. It was a food chat. Like, there's a lot going on in that Discord that I don't really get into.
Nah, the food chat is my shit, though. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be in the food chat.
Going crazy with the recipes.
Okay.
Yeah, nah.
When we're in a space where the world is what it is and we're able to be around each other, look, this is all I want to hear. Whatever you do, I don't need to hear about 5-star matches. I don't need to hear about none of that shit. We chilling. Listen to the rest of the pods for that shit. Is all I'm saying. Because niggas is talking.
Word. Don't tell me I was wrong about something on episode 137. Like,
don't want to hear it. Do not want to hear it.
Even though you probably was, I don't want them to bring it up.
God.
But that's what comment sections are for. That's what Twitter's for. Like, look, you got time to let me know that I was wrong on that shit. We vibing right here. But I wanted, because we was talking about flowers. I mean, obviously, shouts out to the delegation, but shouts out Public Enemies. I mean, there's a lot of people shouts out Pretty Hill, Terry, and We Love Wrestling. Like, there's a lot of people who are in our space, and there's Jabba Tears, of course, Sir Will, all of them. Anybody that we deal with on a regular basis who know what time it is, Do-Rag Bonnie. Speaking of Do-Rag Bonnie,
Militia.
Look. There was. I didn't want to get too horny. Wait. That's good. Because I didn't want to get too into current wrestling because we're recording this at a time, and I don't like doing like we're talking about current shit and it's dropping later. But Roman Reigns on SmackDown, I don't.
All right, yeah, I'm with this. Let's go, man.
Roman Reigns. Reigns.
Hold on, Cody. You can't be with it now. 16 shots later.
Look, this bottle is empty. Is all I'm saying. This bottle is empty. It's a half pint. Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre had to sign their
pity on the running kind.
That's an old nigga joke. That's a 20-year-old joke. They were in the ring doing the signing for the Survivor Series match, and all of the memes was Roman with the nails, with the bonnet on and shit.
Yeah, I seen that.
Do-Rag Bonnie was the first. Now, mind you, Do-Rag, nobody knows who Do-Rag Bonnie is because we gave her that name. You know what I'm saying? And her love of Roman was so crazy, and she's roller derby right now. But because they had the pink nails on Roman's hands, she's out here. You know what I'm saying? Yo. Is Roman?
Is Roman? I know Cal about to say some bullshit, but all right, go ahead.
No. We'll set it up. Is Roman a better black auntie than Brandy Rhodes?
What I say?
Yes,
definitely.
What I say?
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Roman said, "Look,
which camera I'm talking to? This one right here." Yes.
I'm just saying. Roman, he was like, "Look, this is my and WWE. Like, what the fuck is your? If he could cuss on TV,
like
he would have."
So last night was your auntie, right? She got to her kitchen table, and she rolled a little one up. I mean, you know what? She old enough now to know what she do.
Right.
You know what I mean, so she rolling up and she talking to you. And I seen you out here. You know what I mean? I know you got pregnant. I know you
telling you everything.
But we know that she ain't gonna keep it, and it might not even be yours because that.
God damn.
She was giving him all. Yo, when I tell you, Auntie Roman was giving this nigga Drew all the real life game as she sat there and rolled up at the table, and the beauty of him not having to raise his voice and just saying like, yeah. So I'm not saying this. I'm not yelling. We too old for that. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. you ain't the nigga in the family that's gonna get the good looking girl. You know what I mean? It's your cousin, the one that
you already know what time it is.
Damn, that sucks.
But he gave him all the game, yo. And Auntie Roman might take over Thunderdome Rome.
Yeah,
Auntie Roman
might have
be the name of the podcast. Shit,
he had a good run, Greg.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Greg for that.
Well, wait. So is this a situation where, fuck, if they did the PWI 500 maybe a couple months later, Moxley's number 2 because Roman has to be number, and Roman's only been around for so long, but I think the impact of Roman,
easily, yeah.
Facts.
Roman has to be number 1.
Roman Reigns and the Thunderdome made pro wrestling without fans watchable.
See, when you
100%.
Yeah.
When you tell me I don't like pro wrestling, I have to say I love whatever Roman Reigns is doing right now. That's pro wrestling to me. I want to see this nigga go out there and be himself, talk a bunch of shit, and then when it comes to the match, because the thing is with AEW, it's and I don't and again, no disrespect to AEW, but AEW, it has to be all right. You got to watch Wednesday 8 to 10. You got to watch whenever we drop BTE. You got to watch because there's so much story that they can't do on their main show that you have to follow the totality of everything. And I don't look. Niggas got kids. Niggas got it's the Rona.
Don't have no kids.
But y'all watch 3 hours of Raw and y'all watch 2 hours of SmackDown on Fridays though, right?
Not really.
No, yeah, let me be for real. Let me be for real.
You gotta get Hulu, man. 90 minutes. The most important.
2 things.
No filler.
And you can watch Tang Show and Animaniacs.
I'm facts. Animaniacs. I'm gonna tell you like this, and I'm gonna show my age. All right. I've been watching pro wrestling on Monday nights since the late 80s, at least. All right. That's like the way niggas watch Monday Night Football is the way I approach pro wrestling. Like that's my night. My wife knows. I've been with this woman 18 years. Shouts out to my wife.
Hey,
she Monday nights 8 to 11. That like you know where I'm gonna be. Maybe Wednesday nights, depending on what's going on. Friday nights has been crazy. When my son was 2 years old. And I remember he'd get his bath, and then I would as I was getting him ready for bed, it was MVP, it was Matt Hardy on Friday Night SmackDown. That's how I knew who Drew McIntyre was. But this was also 12 years ago. Like Friday nights is not normally a wrestling night for me. Monday nights, some Sunday nights, that's it. At this point, that's it. I can't, there's only so, and as a nigga that's getting older and having job, it's only so much time you can really dedicate to pro wrestling. So it's hard to then be like, shit, whatever night BDE comes on YouTube, I need the story on the show that niggas is watching. Because if it doesn't connect, what was the one story? There was, I don't remember what the pay-per-view was, but it was whatever pay-per-view where they had what's popping. It's they packing. Shouts out to the people that's working on packaging the BRP hoodies and crew nuts and everything. Like we got the workers out here.
But essential workers, yo. Shout out to essential
just
workers.
left.
Wait. It was Matt Sydal when he
Matt Sydal, yeah.
When he joined the battle royal and he slipped on the top rope.
He was high.
Right?
Rest in peace.
And apparently, because I only heard this from Observer Radio that following Monday or whatever, where they had a whole thing on BTE where like the one nigga was like greasing the top rope, because he knew that when Matt. I don't look. I'm just going by what.
No, go ahead, continue. I mean, go ahead. Well, like they was greasing the top rope
on BTE. Fuck. it was
Michael Nakazawa is
Michael Nakazawa. I didn't want to mess up my man's name. Shouts out to this is why we need Drip around. Michael Nakazawa. There was a whole storyline.
True stat guy. Don't forget.
Okay, we'll get to that in a bit.
The name.
There was a whole episode of BTE where Michael Nakazawa was talking about how he was going to sabotage the Joker's Wild Battle Royal, whatever they call it, and he made it so the top rope was slippery. So it's facts. It's facts. But they made it so Matt side that they cleaned up the botch on that. But you wouldn't know if you didn't know that they were on YouTube. And that's my point. It's too
They cleaned the top rope.
After they went over the top.
after they used it.
They had the white one on the top after they used it. Yeah, no, you're right. But
greased the top rope.
He greased it. Right. Wait, Matt, this is what happened. They greased the top rope, right?
Husband.
And then the nigga he tried to go over the top rope and he fucked it up. So they had to clean it up after the fact. That's what happened.
Pardon me.
That's what happened.
Oh God.
But what I'm saying is there's so much, like, you can tell Cody grew up as Dusty Rhodes' son. And because I grew up on WCW, it was Saturday night, it was main event. At one point it was Power Hour. You had class. There's like 4 or 5 different shows going on where stories are happening. But most of the time, niggas is just watching Dynamite. So if you only watch that 2 hours a week of AEW, you can't get the whole storyline. You can't.
And that's a problem.
There's There's too much going on to get the whole. And I'm not saying they're doing a bad job, but it's for the people who are watching Wednesday night. It's piecemeal.
So if you're only watching Wednesday night and critiquing, you're wrong.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying you're not getting the whole story.
It's crazy the fact you even have to say that. Like the fact that I'm watching the only show you guys producing, and I might be wrong about certain shit. It's crazy. But like, what's the
right?
What if I heard they was coming out with the second show? Any updates on the second show? Because I know they.
Okay. When they announced Dark, BET should have been what on Dark.
BTE.
BET?
BET is black people. AEW Dark might as well be BET. You know what I'm saying?
Cedar's World.
What you saying, Drip?
Basically.
Wait. What if Cedar hosted AEW Dark?
Relax, Cat.
Or BET?
What if that was Cedar that came out for Jade Cargill and not Brandon?
Wow.
They don't remember that. I know Drip don't know Cedar.
Drip don't know what we're on about right now.
No, I meant BT.
Drip don't know what we're
on Dark. They should have had like 2 or 3 matches. I said that, and then right after I'm like, wait. I kept saying, am I saying?
Yeah.
They should have put the Dark on.
But instead, that's it.
Big league.
Don't do that.
Hey, you should have said bigly.
I'm glad. But that was their problem. It's like you have to do all this extra work, and then Dark is just matches for people that we will and won't see on Dynamite. But
black people.
Actually, I think they do producing with BTE as they would for a second show. Like Dark is just straight up matches. If they merged the two as a second show, and it was again the night before Dynamite, so you just watched an hour of multi-layered storytelling is what it basically is. It would work. And I kind of compare it to New Japan, where I watched like New Japan for a year and a half from 2017 to 2018. And you'd have to watch the YouTube clips of the promos that the guys would get backstage with the captions. Cause if you don't understand Japanese, you're trying to understand the full story. So you have to do all this extra work because they don't put a full Americanized product that some would, but it's not that they're doing it wrong, like Matt said. It's just that it's so multi-layered. There's stuff you're missing without even knowing it.
Well, I mean, honestly, I would go so far as to say that they're doing it wrong, because as much as we hate on WWE for like filler what is the filler? Oh, this happened on social media. So and so sent this tweet. You have to see it. Like if it plays into a story, you have to address it on TV. Otherwise, you are doing it wrong. And it's not that like anybody should be expected to sit there and watch the whole hour or whatever it is of BTE, but it's just like if you're gonna say somebody greased the rope before the match, then
holy shit,
grease the rope. I wasn't even thinking about it. But grease the rope doesn't sound crazy.
Because we're not dirty like this dude. I
hate that. That's been trying to cover
it on me. Hey, all y'all.
Hey. That's been trying to cover up a botch. That's been trying to be clever, be like even the mistakes are planned out. It
was smart though. I mean, it's one of those things where the WWE had a man throw 2 people off of a building, and then they just showed up on WWE Wrestling within the next 2 weeks. Like them niggas could have died. They were on Titan Tower.
And nobody says nothing, but let AEW.
Oh, they did. The explanation.
No, everyone said everything.
The explanation wasn't great, but they did say that like they landed on like a construction area, or whatever.
Which is wild. They just happened to fall on some scaffolding. Yeah.
I can't give you that. I think the loud minority right now is, and it might not even be a minority in wrestling fans, are the niggas, the anti WWE, AEW niggas are very loud online.
Stop it.
So, they're very loud right now.
Stop it. Hey, cuz, can you I don't mean to cut you off, but Drip, can you give us the title defenses for Omega and Page? Just a callback.
We had them up, right?
As I put in the chat, that they had 9 title defenses that were successful before losing the belts to FTR.
And Sasha and Bailey.
They had just 4. Title defenses, not tag matches, but title defenses again.
So how many of the criteria did that check off though? Does that go to it factor, momentum, wins and losses? What? Because if there's space in between the title defenses, then that's not really momentum. Whereas Bailey and Sasha was going week to week.
But again, Omega and Page, they won the titles going back to last year and lost them, in the summer of this year.
So nine defenses over how many months?
Mm-hmm. No, 9 months. You saying they held them hostage is somewhat accurate because again, COVID. I think Kenny Omega was stuck in Canada for a while, and then maybe Page had tested positive because stuff was going on. Because remember they put in Matt Hardy, then Hangman Page was back, and then a whole lot of stuff. At the start of COVID and quarantine wrestling, you didn't know who was playing. Moxley was out for a little bit, remember, and they had to postpone the match with him. But you saying they held the title hostage? It's again, everything this year is going to have an asterisk with it.
Not the Street Profits though; they showed up every week.
Well, but again,
and they defended the titles. And they defended the titles.
And
they defended the titles.
Put on an amazing series of matches with a bunch of brown people.
Defended the titles so much.
Not a bunch. It was the same guys. Every month it was the same. We really had 3 Zooms. Where it was that match, 3 straight Zooms.
I remember. I think
it's called a feud, though. It's not a feud if they have one-offs.
Their matches was fire, though. Tell the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait. Hold on. Who we talking about?
Who we talking about?
We talking about the Garza Andrade Street Profit stuff. And then they put Bianca in there and let her beat up this nigga.
And that shit was ass too.
No,
Cody only giving them half a star because they not citizens.
Whoa.
Nah, like let's be real. We got
BlackRasslin.com is the website as always.
We gotta be real, son. I don't think we being real. I think we being blinded by the color. I think that's what it is. I'm not gonna
get him. Wait.
During those times, the 3 of us would sit online on Tuesdays and really talk about like how these niggas were being taken advantage of. I said, but they're being, and my argument was always, but they're getting time on TV, which is the WWE's most valuable currency, and doing good things. And if they was trash, they wouldn't have repeatedly kept getting those times. They were on there getting busy.
Fam, I'm gonna say this though. They don't give a fuck, and that's the problem. Because you know what the thing is, and this is the problem. Every time I pick up this comb, it's a problem. If it was Roman doing that shit, it'd be one thing. Zelina can't get that. Like, think of the cachet that Zelina legit has because March, April, however long all the brown people was on Raw. Now we're in fucking August, September, October.
She got cachet for showing her feet.
She can't be Aaliyah on OnlyFans. She can't get her own bread because the fact that somebody Cody, stop. Let me finish.
All right.
Let me finish. Roman. Now, mind you, we legit just said Roman came back for like 4 or 5 months. He's number one, obviously. He left WrestleMania. He said, look, I'm too sick to be around these motherfuckers. And they still were able to make a WrestleMania without him.
Yeah.
Brown and black people have to break their backs. And I'm not even trying. This is not hyperbole. This is facts. They got to break their backs while we're trying to figure out what wrestling is in a quarantine situation, in a COVID-19 situation. Shorty couldn't make more as a WWE superstar than as a OnlyFans / Twitch / whatever personality.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It doesn't make sense.
Have you seen her feet?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Me either, but I really
she was Aaliyah and she was like Velma from Scooby Doo. I don't know what was going on the Instagrams where niggas.
The fact he was making more on Twitch and stuff is crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I read that too. I was like, nah, that's wild. I see why he went up the bat.
Knowing that the WWE has a show on free TV every week, which means, I mean, look, I'm a black man. I'm gonna be 40 in about a year. All right. I've been around watching TV and knowing what ratings are and what those ratings mean for companies. All right. And this is me being real. This is no bullshit. This is being real. There's no way that y'all sign this woman for this multi-million-dollar company and she's making less than what these horny motherfuckers is gonna pay her on OnlyFans and the Twitch. It doesn't make sense to me. And you can't tell me that she should stay there for whatever nigga pennies y'all giving her.
Oh no! I think we're underestimating the Twitch. Yeah,
it's facts.
Hold on. You are not going to call my $45 niggas pennies.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, why the only brown currency got to be nigga pennies?
No, you know why?
He wouldn't say that about a nickel.
You know why? Because that's how they value your money.
It's nigga dollars.
That's nigga pennies right
there. I think we're underestimating that Twitch bread. And that
you better not listen to this.
I think that Twitch bread is for real.
It has to be, but that's still a problem. That's a fucking problem. I don't care what's going on.
Oh,
there's no way.
What is going on?
My light fell. There's no way that she should be making less at the WWE, where she's literally on. She was on TV. How much?
Yeah.
Early quarantine. Every week on Raw. Every week on Raw.
And I think another part of the problem too is that they wanted what? They wanted 70%.
They wanted something ridiculous. From what I understand.
Yeah, I read that too. I read 70%.
Of what? Her dressing like Ryu?
Or the money she made.
Nigga, that's 7 toes, yo.
Ryu was funny.
70%.
They asked for how those Undertaker cameos was going for a G.
At this point,
and he was doing a rock
and he was
away?
counting that towards her contract too. Like that counts towards your contract.
Are you serious?
That's crazy.
That was the whole point.
Yeah.
Again,
crazy.
We talked about you, and again, we're not going to get too.
Undertaker doing a rock away on TikTok is crazy.
That was what they wanted, though. Zelina Vega. I mean, we joke about it, but like when you're talking about unionization, when you're talking about what people are worth, especially as WWE superstars. Zelina Vega's a perfect example. Math's got the Roddy Piper fucking 101 white hoodie. But I low key, let me not even say it, but I want that fucking hoodie. What I'm saying is, like, look, if Math came to my house right now, I might duff him for that fucking hoodie. What I'm saying is,
I've been punched by better people.
Most of them women.
Wait, that's how you go. That's what we talking about on the podcast? Golden Gloves face ass? That's what we talking about right now? I'm looking at you, nigga. I'm looking at you.
Hulk Hogan, I'm talking to you.
You just got a mic ass.
Anyway. Oh my God.
The whole problem is
I never felt more scared for a nigga for a second.
I said something to him, right?
You want to follow up BET.
Davis, that was crazy.
The WWE, like the whole conversation around Twitch and Cameo is, what can we get from that? Zelina said, boom, you're not getting shit. This is my money. I'm the one dressing up as Aaliyah. I'm the one paying for the photo shoots. You know what I'm saying?
I walk the pavement. I walk the concrete.
Exactly. So now it's a situation where because I'm popping and I'm getting $30 for every one of these horny motherfuckers, you want my money? No, that's not what it is. But how is that even a situation? Because these niggas they're the foundation is what I'm saying. Early quarantine, all you saw was brown and black people. Am I wrong?
And Oscar.
Facts. But Oscar been doing it since last November. October, November, she's been that shit. It's just weird to me. It's just really weird to me that this even has to be a conversation. Because Undertaker was legit asking for
$1,000.
But look who he's friends with.
Nah, look.
And I think they all sold out too. It was like 30, right?
Damn.
It was 30 people for $1,000. Wait, as we're recording, you see that? Only one cameo left.
Wait, 30? Damn, 30,000.
It was a limited situation because it's
let's all chip in and buy it, and then one of us says something to him.
There's only 7 motherfuckers in there though.
You pitching them?
Yeah.
Fam does great impersonations. We
been there, done that. Watch it on YouTube.
I got fam right here.
Over 2 million views.
We would each need to put in $143 to get an Undertaker cameo right now.
Already spoke to Mark.
Yeah,
you did.
You can watch it on YouTube. 2 million views. I'm not giving him $1,000 to do it again.
Hey, Greg. Yeah, talk your shit.
You don't need to do it.
Talk your shit. When did you talk to Undertaker? Recently?
This year for the first press run when like that last Raw documentary was coming out. He was everywhere.
He was still brave enough to wear them thin blue line shirts. Realize his new press run has been all plain hoodies and keys.
He got crosses in the back though. Yeah. Shouts out Hot Ones.
He's been he's toned down the MAGA on the new run.
Listen, somebody got the memo, man. That like.
It's not working.
Yeah.
So do y'all think now let me ask this question sincerely. Do y'all think that he was that he's now finding out like that's offending people, or do you think he just realizes that he's missing a bag at this point?
He's missing a bag. He knows he's missing a bag.
You see how much some cameos is hitting for?
Facts.
The only one who's paying for that cameo is Coach. That's the only one paying for that last cameo.
Where is Coach from? Do we know?
From y'all area, from Maryland.
No.
That's one of y'all man.
He's from the DMV. We're not from there.
Maryland.
I'm from Jersey. I don't know where that man is from. That's not Jersey material.
That's math man's.
So
wait. So y'all don't count as a part of the DMV? Baltimore is a part of the DMV?
No.
He don't. No, this man don't. This man don't.
The DMV stops about 20 minutes south of Baltimore.
I told you.
This is like Greg's Long Island.
So the DMV is
it's like Bethesda and all that, right?
Yeah, it's like Go-Go and Mambo Sauce and DC and Northern Virginia. Because it's also not the whole Virginia. It stops at like Richmond.
So it's basically the parts of Virginia and Maryland that are close to the parts that DC. Virginia and Maryland gave up to make DC.
Correct.
The DMV.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when niggas say DMV, they are not like Baltimore niggas and Baltimore niggas and DC niggas are very, very.
Don't you dare call us DMV.
See. But that's a real thing. That's it's something that we've always kind of talked about actually during the pod, is because Cal is from Jersey, and we be putting niggas on to like what it is here. Niggas hear our conversations and don't realize that like it's definitely a different rodeo. It's definitely a different rodeo. You know what I'm saying? It's niggas. It's everything. I mean, black people are not anything monolithic. You know what I'm saying? We definitely have a bunch of facets to everything we do, and DMV niggas and Baltimore niggas are just completely different.
Yeah, up till recently, I thought DMV was I thought it was Delaware, Maryland, Virginia. So I didn't. I'm on culture apparently.
Imagine. That's funny. Yo, shout out to my
that's hilarious.
Piece of Semper Vivi, but that's funny. That's funny.
Nah, but I heard Delaware got some fine fact. It was though.
Big ups to Delaware.
Nah, I didn't know nothing about that.
Yo, I used to go down there and buy cigarettes because they was tax free.
Facts. There's not, because this is dropping around Thanksgiving. I don't even want to talk about this year's Survivor Series, but I remember growing up, Survivor Series and Starrcade was a thing. Like that was a Thanksgiving thing. What were your histories as pro wrestling fans around Thanksgiving? Were y'all on some shit? Survivor Series, let's go. It was always.
No, it was definitely Survivor Series, let's go. Like it was definitely, because like we watched everything. We had like the free cable.
You had the box.
Talk about it.
We did.
Talk about it.
We saw like all the pay-per-views all the time. My dad was like big on boxing, so like when it was Tyson fights, we had the fight parties, and then Survivor Series. Like if you watched wrestling come through, we was having a wrestling thing too. And I just remember I remember the one that Bob Backlund and Bret Hart faced in that like submission match.
Word.
The last 10 minutes of that match was so intense with Bob Backlund because everybody just around the TV like, yo, he had him in the chicken wing. Bret's not getting out, and Owen was just doing the finest acting that you would ever see. With just like, yo, this is my brother, throwing the towel, and like the whole room is just like silent, just watching, like captivated.
Right.
But yeah, that's how it was. Every pay-per-view, just come through, watch.
Was that? I want to know what Ethan Dredd like. Growing up, that was the thing. Was some Survivor Series was that shit? Was that like that for y'all?
It wasn't like that. Like it wasn't like niggas coming, because in my family, like it's only a few of us that really fuck with wrestling like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's me, my pops, my grandpa, and my mom got hip to it like 06. You feel me? Like so she been tapped in for a little bit too, but like when we didn't have the free cable, bro. You know when pay-per-views. When certain pay-per-views look lit, like when the card look fire, my pops was like, all right, like let's fuck with this. Let's see what it's talking
about. Your
pops
was a wrestling fan like that?
Kind of sort of. He been tapped in for a little bit. His favorite wrestler is British Bulldog. That's his boy.
Wow.
Why?
He said he seen a match with him and Bret Hart. Was it him and Bret Hart or him and Shawn Michaels? It was one of them niggas.
Him at like, Wembley Stadium. They had that match.
Right. Yeah, he was like, that was the best match I ever seen. So that's his boy.
I respect that. What about you, Dre?
Kind of the same. Like I was like, my mom, like we didn't really like growing up. Survivor Series wasn't like a thing. You know what I'm saying? For me personally, but like as far as wrestling, like my mom's would like. It like more recently, the John Cena and The Rock matches. That was the last thing that like my mom was like, okay, I'm gonna order this. Like I want to see this. You know what I'm saying? Both matches. Like we sat there, and that was like really the last really moment where me and my mom had like a little wrestling bonding moment or whatever.
So what was the first wrestling bonding moment? I want to ask this to like the younger cats too, especially like because I know for me it was like Hogan, Andre. My cousin had the tape, so we watched the tape. I don't even know what year it was that I first saw it.
Shit.
The first pro wrestling moment?
Yeah, because we had.
All right. So let's say the first.
I was born in 1985, so I just know I saw that match at some point after, obviously, because I watched it on the VHS.
Was born in the 80s.
So it's just like
you was born in the 80s.
Watch it.
He was born.
You know when you was born?
It wasn't 85, nigga.
It wasn't 85, exactly.
It was 82.
The fuck.
Watch your mouth drip.
But now I want to hear everybody's first moment with wrestling, like the first memory.
Moment.
Yeah, memory? Like first memory, whatever.
I know my first. I don't know what year it was. I remember because again, I mentioned my shouts out my cousin Mike. He lived in South Jersey, Cinnamon, and I used to go down there damn near every weekend. But he was the first cat that really we would rent tapes every Saturday and watch pro wrestling. But we would also watch TBS, and I think the first memory I have on TBS was the Steiner brothers holding 2x4s to assist Lex Luger. So I don't know what the Four Horsemen angle was, but this had to have been like 87, 88. I didn't know what the shit was, but I remember Lex Luger being out there with a chain, and then the Steiners coming out with the 2x4s like, yo, this my man's, y'all need to chill. There might have been a video promo of somebody beating up somebody and like their hand getting stuck in a door or some shit like that. But it was definitely like specifically Lex Luger and Rick Steiner on TV with a whole 2x4. Like you not messing with this dude. I don't give a fuck what you doing. But Lex, that's my man's. You don't fuck with him. That's it.
Yo, Cody, I think you said you had your memory.
Yeah. Like I wasn't like my grandfather put me on the wrestling. I was in the house with my people and everything. My grandfather was the only one that was sitting there watching wrestling and stuff. And when I was growing up, he would always had a wrestling on, and I would just come over there and watch it with him. And just over time, I just learned to watch wrestling for myself. It's the same thing with golf. Like my grandfather used to watch golf as well, and like that's one of the traits that I continued to pick up with. So I was born in 92, so I'm not sure. I don't have a right.
Wait, hold up, because niggas be having me feel like I'm old. But you said 82.
92. Yeah.
God, I'm out of here.
It's people that was born there. It's people was born in the 90s. No, I'm just kidding.
At least I'm not born in the 2000s. Like
95. So yeah,
95 is crazy. That's crazy. I'm sorry. 92. All right, let's go.
Yeah, and it's just one of those traits I seen and I liked, and I always watched it on television to answer your question and have one moment. I really can't remember like that. You know what I'm saying, to be honest. I just remember periods of where I'm playing video games, No Mercy and stuff like that. It's little bits and stuff.
No Mercy just turned 20, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Best video game, man.
What about you, Eve?
It's a couple. I remember being I remember in the first grade. Shouts to my best friend Judge.
Real quick.
My dog. He was for Christmas.
It's cold out here. Why you got them on?
Man, mute your mic. God damn.
Nah, but it was first grade. My boy Judge. Shouts to my dog, man. He bought for Christmas. He bought the tag team titles for me and him. So that was kind of my fake intro to wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Word. So that, but I wasn't watching at the time. I was tapped in here and there. I'd see commercials and shit, but I wasn't, really into it until my grandfather had moved in with us in 2003. Wrestling was his shit. I remember him watching WCW and shit like that. So when he moved in with us, he would come to me. He was like, "Yo, put the TV on wrestling. I don't know how to work the TV. Put it on wrestling." And I'd be like, "Yo, I can't watch wrestling. Mommy won't let me watch it." Like, and he was like, "Nah, well, I'm here, so you get to watch it."
Granddad's the trump card.
Yeah, he was like, "It don't matter." He was like, "You can watch it. I'm here with you." So we used to watch SmackDown, Raw, everything. Like he brought me into that, and it just stuck, bro. I never feel me straight from it. Right. I remember WrestleMania 20. That was like the first. Like it was me, my pops, my uncle, my cousin, and my grandpa.
Drake, what was the WrestleMania 20 main event?
It's the triple threat with Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and the redacted Wolverine.
Chris Benoit? Did he get with his family?
Chris Benoit.
Yep.
Crispin? That's crazy.
The GOAT.
Is it? Wait, Dre. I'm Dre. All right, I'm gonna tell you this.
I'm chatting.
No, you know Carry what it is. I've never said this before, but Chris Benoit was one of my favorite wrestlers at one point. There was
definitely.
I've talked about this on the pod before. I remember the night I was watching Chris Benoit on ECW, and he took Sabu, and he just
launched him up.
I flipped my cousins like that before, just doing some bullshit. And he just took that nigga and threw him in the air, and Sabu landed on his neck, and it was a wrap.
His neck.
Yeah,
they called him the crippler after that. That nigga was like he fucked his neck up. And I was not. I want to say I wasn't watching wrestling, and then the night where Randy Orton kicked the shit out of Cactus Jack. That's when I started back watching wrestling. But it wasn't until that weekend where whatever happened at the Benoit Estate happened with that ECW event that weekend. That was when I got to like that second layer of like, shit. There's a whole ICW going on. You know what I'm saying?
You mean the night what happened?
Is that the biggest pro wrestling tragedy?
Yes.
What?
Benoit? No, I wouldn't say so.
What's the biggest?
And what would you think, Greg?
Owen Hart, because Owen Hart actually happened at a wrestling show. Chris Benoit, they moved on without him.
That's facts.
Chris Benoit, he didn't show up at the house show. They were like, just fine, just come to the pay-per-view. He doesn't show up at the pay-per-view. They rewrite it on the fly. And then Monday,
that's how John Morrison.
Yeah, Monday they have a whole tribute show to him. So like Chris Benoit wasn't wrestling, but it became wrestling because of how it affected everything else. Because now they had they already had the wellness policy, but now it was just like
it was a different situation.
Protocols and performance center and all of this had to come in after that. But Owen Hart, it happened in the ring during the show.
They don't even release that pay-per-view.
It's on the network, but I think they cut what happened.
Oh, word?
I'm not mistaken.
How much of that pay-per-view did they even show?
It was in your house. Which
no,
year?
It was over the edge.
Yeah.
1999.
99, yeah.
Okay.
But no, was Owen Hart national TV like Benoit was? I don't think so. I had a People magazine of like the Benoit thing, like my dad got to, which is like a depressed like.
Owen Hart died in the ring. I think it was on the news that night. The pay-per-view's still going on, and it's like on.
Yeah, it's on.
No, they're like tied, the 1A 1B. But I just think maybe because it's a decade later, and TV's and it's before social media. I mean, again, like nothing. What can we say? It's the social media tragedy that's happened in wrestling, really. I mean, Ultimate Warrior with being on there Monday, then dying the next day, but his back.
Wait. Owen Hart died May 23rd, 1999. I probably graduated high school like 3 weeks later. I remember because I wasn't watching a lot of wrestling.
You old as shit.
I'm an old motherfucker.
4 years old.
Like I said, I'm a year away. I'm less than a year away from being 40. But I remember I wasn't watching pro wrestling at this point. But I think that night I was on AOL and somebody said something about Owen Hart, and I went to the channel where it was scrambled, trying to figure out what was going on that night, and it was just Jim Ross talking about how, oh my God, some tragic shit happened, but nobody knew. But I don't think I wasn't watching that night. I've never seen. Shout out to not Chris Brown in the Discord because Chris Brown said he was like 7 years old or whatever when he was there that night.
Yeah, I guess it was in Kentucky. He said he was there. Where's he from? Kansas.
Kansas City. He said, yeah. Well, I mean, he's a Chiefs fan.
Again, the power of the Discord. We were watching every week when Vice had the Dark Side of the Ring, and they had the Owen Hart one. And that night, he was in the Discord talking about how it was him. I believe he went with his friend's mom or something. And they was watching the screen as shit was going on. He said by the time whatever the promo was done on the screen, there was some shit like, yo, there's something happening in the ring. They had to figure out what was going on, and it was a lot of confusion. And it seemed like he was mad young.
Because I watched on TV, and that's what it was. Like, they did his promo, and then it was like video package, and I'm just like, and then they come back, and they're just like, we had a problem. Basically, it's just like,
that's sad, yo. That's fucking sad.
Yo, do niggas remember the night that King had the heart attack?
Yes.
Yeah.
He kicked him in the heart.
Elbow drop. It was like 6 elbow drops.
No.
I shouldn't be laughing at that.
It happened.
You keep laughing about this shit.
It happened.
No, because the kick was different. The actual
the kick was like a year later,
something like that. Yeah,
it was.
But like that night, I remember going back and forth. It might have been with y'all niggas.
It probably was.
It was like, yo, what's niggas say it ain't looking good for yo. Like they were like, yo, he might kick it. Like it was really why I don't remember wrestling like that ever.
Nigga, did you send this shit while we was recording?
That's what mute's for, bitch.
That's something I do on our podcast. I just say some random shit like that.
You goddamn right. I sent it while we was recording.
Sam be doing that.
I'm sorry. You know what the problem is niggas love wrestling. Niggas love sneakers. There's a couple of things niggas like. So when we recorded, like, and I know Math. Like, I know Math has a love of sneakers. So if I see a deal on some sneakers, I'm gonna send him a deal on some sneakers, and then he's gonna be like, "Yo, nigga, we was recording. You just sent me a deal on some sneakers." But yeah, I just sent you a deal on some sneakers because I know you gonna want these sneakers at some point. I apologize. I apologize.
That's dope.
I'm sorry. You know, I can't not act
it's
like
not.
we not. I can't act like we're not family, and I don't want this man to shine on his own shit. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to.
He has the nerve to call you unprofessional.
I mean, look. I thrive.
You've been here for 2 hours, my nigga.
Look, all right.
Enough.
We have.
I'm glad you said 2 hours. I do want to bring up one thing. I was going to bring up something else, but I'll bring up one thing because it was something that happened on the timeline this week. Shawn Michaels. We've had. I think separately we've had conversations on what Shawn Michaels' legacy was, and Shawn Michaels is an interesting person because he's been involved in the Montreal Screwjob, DX, like just when Undertaker talks about his best matches, he talks about WrestleMania 25. You know what I mean?
Is that on
type
TikTok?
Of shit.
Kyle, I'm gonna let you finish, but right now we talking about Shawn Michaels' legacy right now. That's what
we need to. No, we
hey,
need
Cody,
to
stop it.
We need to because all right. Who said it? Somebody said something about Shawn Michaels, and I saw Greg was like, "Nah, fuck him." And I know Math was like, "Nah, fuck him." So I think with this assortment of people,
the nigga's overrated.
We again,
he is.
We have to ask, and I know I this again. Dre. No, put the headphones back on. Put the headphones back because this is what I do. You know, we need to understand where everybody's coming from.
So,
let me ask you the question, Dre. When someone says that Shawn Michaels is overrated, they wilding?
For sure.
Why? Let me know.
How?
Shawn Michaels got the best matches with some of your favorite wrestlers. Period.
Because
all time.
Hold on. He has the floor. Matthew has the floor. Matthew has the floor.
No, I said period. That's it. That's it.
You're done?
That's period. Yeah.
Hold on.
That's it.
Matthew, go ahead.
I don't have to explain anymore. I just said that.
Matt, you go right ahead, and then I'm gonna step in.
My
after
son
you.
has the best matches with our favorite wrestlers.
Yes,
because our favorite wrestlers are top tier.
That doesn't mean nothing.
You see what I'm saying? Our favorite wrestlers.
Hold on.
It does take two to tango.
Cody, he has the floor. He has the floor.
Okay.
Our favorite wrestlers got top notch matches with niggas that's not top tier wrestlers.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's nobody.
Classic.
May I step in? May I step in for some uninterrupted?
Please
Can someone please? Yes.
Please
give me 2 minutes to wrap this up.
Go in.
Cal said something interesting, right? Cal said something interesting in relation to another conversation. He said, I've been watching wrestling on Monday night since before Monday Night Raw. That was the prime time era. That was Bobby the Brain Heenan, Mr. Perfect around the table. I remember
That's
this.
why I love that one logo. Facts. Thank you.
I remember this. Right? So I remember the Rockers.
Right.
I remember the
Rockers.
barbershop
Wow.
window. I remember the barbershop window. I remember sexy boy Shawn Michaels. I remember Shawn Michaels with his bodyguard Diesel, and then his new bodyguard Sid, and then Shawn Michaels on his own WWE Championship into DX. And I remember Shawn Michaels' career from 88 to 98 because I watched it all.
Right.
That 10-year period gets wildly overrated.
I can see that.
Wildly hyped up. They talk about that 10-year period. Yes, because the Rockers were ass, and he was in the Rockers from 88 to 92.
Her foundation.
I'm not talking about the Rockers. I'm talking about Shawn Michaels.
Who was one half of what? Who was one half of what? The Rockers.
One half of the Rockers.
Greg, no. You can't just drop that.
That's the Rockers, though.
What the fuck did Jim Anvil do? What
the Rockers were not great. The Rockers were not great.
Let Greg speak.
The Rockers were not great, and
the
Hart Foundation is absolutely better than the Rockers. But it's not even a question. From their matches with the Bulldogs to their matches with Demolition,
Matches. Huge matches.
Kyle, you hype right now. Relax.
I'm saying. The Rocker. Wait. Marty Jannetty said he killed the nigga behind a fucking bar. And then 20 years later, you don't know what's going on.
I don't give a fuck about that.
My
guy.
Marty, hold on. Let me make my point.
Go ahead, Greg. Crack with Jim Neidhart.
Talking shit, Greg. Let's go.
Let me make my point. My point is that now, so even if we say the Rockers don't count, fine. 92 to 98, Shawn Michaels was not good. Now, 2002 to when he retired, he's in God mode. But you know what those first 10 years do? They bring down the average.
Wow.
They bring down the average.
No, wait, hold on.
And that on that alone, he's overrated.
That's a good point.
He won championships. And how many of them? You brought up the defenses, right, Davis? This guy brought up title defenses. Every championship that he won, he either forfeited or he dropped them to a member of the clique in a subpar match. Everyone.
That man. Yeah, I'm with it.
So that first half of his career does enough damage to the second half of his career because in a 10-year period, he has maybe 3 matches that you would say is like top tier, 3 to 5.
Word.
That you'll say is top tier. The ladder match that everybody hypes up is the worst one of the two between him and Razor. The SummerSlam ladder match is better than the Mania ladder match.
I agree.
By leaps and bounds.
I agree with that.
But because everybody's building a story with Shawn Michaels, that's what overrates him because they take things that he did and they boost it, and it's just not as great as people say it is. And I'll pass it to whoever wants it after that.
The swag is there.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the swag, though.
See,
y'all want to talk about the matches and stuff. The swag is there.
Shawn was off Percocets, wilding out, going crazy, hitting Sonny backstage, getting coochie, coming out, putting on classics. Man, I'm out
what you talking about?
No.
Wait, he said coochie. I love it.
Who else was putting on matches that we talking about right now? To
Bret Hart
in this day, you name all of these.
I was waiting on
He has at least one classic.
And he's not.
Bret Hart has
is not
classic
better than
tag
Shawn.
matches. Bret Hart has tag matches. Has classic matches for the Intercontinental Championship. He has classic world title matches. He has classic matches. Nash was the one who said it, right? You have classic that you don't even think are great. Bret has a classic match with a guy named Tom McGee. You can't even think of another.
I heard about that match.
You can't even think you heard about it. That's facts.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it though, but I heard about it.
You
like what's going on. Yeah.
Bret has classics with 1-2-3 Kid. Bret versus 1-2-3 Kid on Monday Night Raw is a top tier match. Because Shawn has matches with Diesel.
Exactly.
None of Shawn's
overrate Bret Hart.
None of Shawn's
But where's Swag at though?
None of
Can
Shawn's
he talk?
Drip.
Exactly.
Bret Hart can't talk better than me, and I don't even know words.
We got a lot going on. We got a lot going on. Hold on 1 second though.
I love it.
My favorite cheap heat drop, right? Is there's a drop where Greg says it's professional.
Nigga, did you pause us all for you to talk?
Exactly.
100%. So there's a drop where Greg says it's professional wrestling.
I really love that.
However,
Nigga.
Greg, you put the emphasis on the incorrect word. It's professional wrestling. It is not wrestling for points. It is not one nigga in you know what I mean? It's not collegiate wrestling. It is storylines. It is promos.
Swag. Entertainment.
Because if let's be honest about this. Bret Hart was amazing. Shawn Michaels was amazing.
Okay.
Shawn Michaels.
In ring.
Your opinion.
In ring. All right.
Okay, all right. Wait, I'm glad Pam clarified.
I fuck with you, man. That's what's up. Talking shit.
So, where they differ is that we all can be honest about Bret Hart's shortcomings as far as promos go. Right. However, no. Hold on.
Oh shit! Here we go, y'all.
I have a rebuttal. I'm gonna let you finish, but we're gonna dissect that myth right now so that it never gets perpetrated on this podcast.
Thank you for letting me
Please, let's do so.
So we all have gotten in trouble for in school and you know what I mean.
No,
during
we
that
haven't.
era,
I didn't chop my crotch, my nigga.
So we've all chopped from time to time.
I'm a G. I wasn't doing that kind of shit.
Cause you old. You was old then.
Because he had crack in his crotch. That was the problem. He wasn't trying to draw no attention to that shit. That's what the pack was. He said, you know what? Y'all don't know what's going on down there. Shit.
If you just an old nigga doing that, it's not cool.
Had a whole G pack in this shit, man. You wild, man. If you wild as fuck, yo. I'm sorry.
I'm shaking up. Oh no.
I'm sorry. That was the pack. I'm sorry. That was the
why he doesn't go through the ropes.
Golden gloves. I respect it. That no, that's fact. Shouts out to fam. That's why he doesn't go through the ropes. Exactly. Look at that. Look at that.
No. So the fact that we remember stuff with Shawn Michaels inside the ring, outside the ring, his stories, is there's no way we can say this man is whack.
He not whack.
No,
I didn't say that.
Right.
Definitely
Right.
didn't say whack.
Right. So
Then
we get to the dreaded overrated word, right? Which is
that's a fact.
None of this is fact.
It is a fact.
How isn't it?
It's all opinion. This is all opinion.
My nigga, it's somebody attached to everything you about to give me. You about to give me ladder matches. You about to give me Bret Hart. You about to give me Diesel. You about to give me Sid bitches. You about to give me sensational Sherry. It's all somebody attached to it.
Shawn Michaels was on the unemployment line before Bret Hart fucked him and Marty and said, we need another tag team for another classic. And they gave it to you with a broken rope.
That happened. No, that happened. That actually happened. The rope broke and they still had a whole match. Yeah, that's fine.
So here's the thing with Bret Hart. He's like Wayne Gretzky.
This nigga 8 years old, mind you. I'm sorry.
He's got the title. He's got the accolades. But he doesn't have swag as good as Wayne Gretzky.
That is absurd.
We're not saying that. We're not saying that.
Hang on. Let me finish.
Greg said you're not outside. He said you're not
outside.
outside.
To give him swag by throwing him like here, wear pink.
You wasn't outside.
Swag, like he swag it out. He just had it on.
Did you see Salt and Pepper on Bret at Mania 11?
I seen Cameron wear pink.
Did you see Salt and Pepper on Brett?
Yeah, I didn't see Brett anymore.
He's not a. You can't call him unseasoned. He had Salt and Pepper in 91. What year was it?
All I'm saying, his brother right there.
I'm getting out of here, man. Fuck this shit.
Hold on. You're knocking Brett for wearing pink, and then you saying Owen had the swag when Owen took the colors.
Can I finish?
Come on.
Wow. Okay, let's go.
No, see, that's it. Shawn Michaels, what? He had guys singing, I'm a sexy boy, because that's how dope he was.
No,
and
he had a guy. He had a guy.
Big swag.
He
wasn't Playgirl, though. I mean,
and
you're fucking kidding
so,
me.
hold on. I just want to go back and address the promos.
And then you're forgetting.
I do want to hear that argument. I'm curious as to
please address that.
Let's kill that myth right now, right?
Let's do it.
There's a couple of problems with that. People who say that Bret Hart is not charismatic don't know what charisma is.
Oh,
they know
TR fanboy over here.
They know the spoon-fed pro wrestling idea of charisma, which ties into the promos, right? They know to listen for vocal cues and say, this guy's hot on the mic, but you cannot go back and watch the tape and hear the crowd chanting, we want Bret during an unrelated match and say that this guy wasn't charismatic, wasn't electric. You got to be deaf to think that. And then the purpose of a promo in pro wrestling, right? Before you had Ric Flair coming and giving you guys these vocal cues, is to sell the match. There's not a Bret Hart promo. There's not a Bret Hart promo that you watch and say, I don't want to see that match. I don't care about that match. It doesn't exist.
Good point.
And the other problem with that argument is that the Bret Hart promos tie into his matches in that Bret Hart brought the realism to pro wrestling. You watch those matches, you thought he was really getting his ass kicked. You thought he was really kicking ass. And when he gave his promos, it was the same thing. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't giving you the vocal cues. It wasn't extra animated because it was grounded in a realism that pro wrestling needed coming out of the cartoony era of Hogan and Macho Man. So when you say his promos are trash, it's because you're not listening for you weren't getting the vocal cues because he wasn't giving you the paint by numbers. It's because there's no laugh track. But if you pay attention,
I love it.
Hey yo, Cal. Let me
understand why the promos are not as terrible as everybody says. He wasn't as terrible on the mic. It's because you're not listening. You're listening for him to yell and drop a catchphrase and maybe use his wrestler voice.
No,
it's because his voice was his voice and he was who he was and what he was.
Really quick, would you
I want to take over the show right now.
Let's go. Talk that shit, Greg.
Can we turn this into Black and Out Stable for a little bit? Let me take over the show for a little bit, man.
Let's go. Dre,
I want to take over the show because I see my man Math over here. Wow, damn! I got to get the camera pointing right.
Yeah, I'm gonna say over here. Math is lit. You see where his hat is at right now?
I see Math facial expression, and I yeah, I do see where his hat is. But Math, I want your opinion on this because I see your facial expression. I need to know what you think right now.
It's gonna be wrong.
No, I love it. I love it. Where you at, man? Where you at?
What I'm thinking about? What
this shit,
nigga? I'm somewhere in the bottom of.
All right, so look, guess what? All right, Matt, be quiet for the rest of the. Just hold on. I'm gonna need you to be quiet because you don't know what's going on right now.
Let's go, Dre.
I need. All right, fam. How do you feel about that?
Here's my problem. I liked.
Mind you, Math. Fans don't really fuck with Bret like that, but let's go.
No.
Okay, that's good to know.
No. I like Bret Hart. I mean, Bret Hart got a black guy, real nigga.
He's got one now.
No. But see, it's so Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels is the Nas and Jay-Z of wrestling. Like
facts.
Shawn Michaels,
semi-facts.
Bret Hart, nigga, right? And I am definitely more of a Shawn Michaels nigga. So
why?
That because I like
who's who?
Well, yeah, no, that's a good question.
Shawn is Jay and Bret is Nas.
Exactly. So Bret is lower tier compared to.
Hold on, wait a second.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Shawn Michaels is Jay-Z. Is Shawn Michaels Jay-Z?
We're not gonna do that.
No, wait. Before Eve, you were shaking your head early. Why is Shawn Michaels Jay-Z?
Because how is he not?
Stop
you know what I'm saying?
Hold on,
right? Sean is Jay-Z because Sean's
he had a first half and he had a successful second half.
No,
hey, wait, Greg got it. Hold on.
Sean is Jay-Z, right? Sean was part of a crew that wasn't really popping, but he outshined the crew, and then he went solo. The first half of his career was good. It wasn't great until he went and retired and told you how great the first half was, and it came out for the second half on God mode. But the thread of the whole thing is that Sean is more glam, more sizzle than steak. Sean is more glam than really substance. Stan is more focused on the style.
Yo, Greg is good on his point. Greg is amazing.
He's a fucking lawyer, Cody.
This is why I had these Assembly Brothers on this podcast.
And this is why Nas is Brett, right? Because
definitely Brett.
Out the gate, he had the fundamentals down. He was flawless in the ring. You could put him with anybody, and he elevated everything. He's not worried about the accolades. He got into a little battle with Sean. Won the battle, lost the war on PR points.
Facts.
Lose the war.
But
he lost the war. Brett left. What you mean?
He got embarrassed.
If we want to turn this to Nas versus Jay-Z, let me know.
No, I love it. It's accurate.
Sean and Jay-Z got the same name. That's why they're the same nigga. Both of them named Sean. God damn it.
You stupid.
All that rap.
You stupid. It's facts, but you stupid.
Well, no, they don't have the same name because Jay-Z and Sean are not their real names. So
and you acting all stupid.
I don't care about Michael.
Nigga. Huh? What you saying?
It's Sean.
Me and Matt gonna fight one of these days. I already know that. I'm gonna knock that goddamn cup out of his hands. What the fuck you talking about?
You a little nigga, Cal.
Who?
You a little nigga, Cal.
What you talking about? You ain't that much taller than me, nigga. We gonna fight.
Top of your head, pause.
Fight me, nigga. Fight me.
I can see the top of your head. You
fight me 1-on-1. Fight me.
Hey,
I'm good with all that.
I love it. I love it.
I'm good with all
that shit. I love it. I'm sorry. It got way too personal.
I'm gonna tell you, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart will be
this nigga lying.
An argument that will never be settled.
Stop.
It has to be though, right?
I think no, because
it's already been settled in my opinion.
None of this stuff is quantifiable. It's all preference.
Hold on, you know what is quantifiable though? You know what is quantifiable? Is that when you see the Winged Eagle belt, you think about Bret Hart, even though he was not the champion for most of the time when that belt was in existence, even though Hulk Hogan actually held that belt longer than he did. What is quantifiable is the fact that Bret Hart he put the world in World Wrestling Federation.
That's also not quantifiable.
Bruno had it. Yes, it is.
Not
when
quantifiable.
Bruno had it was regional.
Because he couldn't draw in America.
When Bruno had it was regional. When Hogan had it was national. Bret Hart took them into Europe, into India, into.
Imagine following this nigga.
Hey Greg. Hey Greg, question for you.
Yeah.
Question for you, Greg. Who carried Bret Hart during the match?
Nobody. And that's the other thing I want to say.
Nobody. You said what?
And we have an argument.
Here's what is quantifiable, right? When people talk about how WWE was suffering during the New Generation, do you know the two men who had the belt when they're talking about that time period? You think Bret because he defined that era, but they're talking about Diesel and they're talking about Shawn
Diesel.
Yeah.
Those are the two men that they're talking about when the WWE was so bad during those years.
And Diesel got built up because of Shawn.
Talking about
and that is what's quantifiable. That is those are numbers. Those are facts. Like that's something. Those are statistics, Davis.
Jesus.
These
mentioning the top of a card
during a
3-hour show.
Talk to him is right.
Mentioning the top of the card during a 3-hour show in beef is very deceiving because it only talks about part of what niggas is turning into. The booking during that period of time, comparatively, the cutting edge stuff that they were doing more so on WCW TV is why they were winning. It wasn't because of the top of the card. It was because of what happened in the meat of the program which is the 90 minutes middle of that show. That's what was it. So you can't lean the Monday Night Era on one superstar or the other.
Why not? Why
because
not?
The NWO is what carried them niggas.
So hold on.
Hulk Hogan moving over and niggas seeing Hulk Hogan as a bad guy changed. It made niggas change the channel. It wasn't because it was the champion.
Oh, then why have a champion? Then why have a champion?
Who was the WCW champion during most of that time?
Because when Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan, hold on. When Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan had the WCW championship, and Bret Hart was in the WWE with the championship in '93, it wasn't about in '93 and '94. It wasn't about who's the champion. Blah, blah. Like Bret was cooking WCW.
Facts.
He was having better matches on all levels of the card.
Bret Hart WCW can't.
He was having better
Michaels.
He was having better matches.
2010.
WCW was on some nonsense at that point. Is the problem? That's the only problem with that argument is that WCW didn't know what the fuck was going on at that point, and at the very least, they were lucky that Bret Hart was still able to have good fucking match. Because we talked about Owen Hart earlier. When Owen Hart passed, that Nitro where Bret and Chris Benoit had a whole match.
Yeah,
straight, just like technical wrestling for like 15, 20 minutes. That was the best shit that WCW had in like 2 years, if we're being real.
Yeah.
Stop it, because DDP and Randy Savage at the same time.
You wild. Turn that nigga's mic off right now.
He's using the NWO as a crutch to sort of protect Shawn Michaels. Like, I'll give it to you. The NWO was a juggernaut, but I mean,
it's protecting Bret too.
Bret wasn't there in '96.
You're putting the entirety.
Bret wasn't there.
The entirety of the WCW program.
Bret left after WrestleMania 12. And WrestleMania 12 was in April. The NWO was informed until July, so they were killing him on those 5 months too when he had the company to himself.
So, but the problem becomes is you're putting all the responsibility at one guy's foot on one program, and then the entire roster of 75 champions on one. It doesn't boil down to champions. It boils down to who put on a better television show. And that doesn't come down to the champions. That comes down to the bookers and who's putting on the TV.
So hold on. So what was Shawn doing during that time that was so entertaining? Because when Bret was feuding with Stone Cold, and that went from Survivor Series into the Rumble into attacking Vince McMahon on Monday Night Raw, people still talk about those moments even though they happened while the NWO was around. What are the Shawn Michaels moments that people talk about when the NWO was around and Bret was on vacation?
So when they don't exist. Okay, let me ask. Let's answer your question. Is one of the biggest feuds and storylines that brought niggas back was the Tyson storyline.
That was 98. That was 98.
Who Mike Tyson knock out? But that's what won the Monday Night Wars. That feud won the Monday Night Wars.
That is false.
Niggas turned the champion. That's when niggas turned. That's when niggas turned the channel back.
Mick Foley and The Rock won the Monday Night Wars. They were still even with Mike Tyson
black people.
Out, he was still getting cooked on by WCW. But I mean, come on now. That was 98. Bret is gone. Bret's already in WCW.
So you just said The Rock and Mankind won it in 98. And Bret Hart in WCW in 98.
Won it in 99.
What did Bret do? Bret went to Monday.
What did he do?
It was trash.
Exactly.
Bret went to W. Hold on.
It was trash.
Let's dispel this myth now. I'm glad we're doing this. Let's dispel this myth. Bret Hart went to WCW, right?
You didn't dispel the first one.
It was ass.
Bret Hart was running from the grind, man.
And Bret Hart.
What Dave Miller say? You running from the grind? That's what Bret was doing, bro.
Bret Hart.
Yeah, he went from the and went over there ass.
Bret Hart went to WCW, and he had the career that if anybody else had it, it would be a top-tier Hall of Fame career. He went to WCW. He beat everybody that they had.
That's what Moxley's doing right now. That's what Moxley's doing right now.
Everybody on the roster. Triple Crown champion. Classic matches. It wasn't that Bret Hart was bad. It's that Bret Hart didn't live up to his own standard because he was in a class all by himself.
And he got Sweet Chin Music by Goldberg, and that turned his lights out for the rest of his career.
That's
did
fine.
have a whole, that was a whole problem. Yeah.
A casket put Shawn Michaels on pause for 4 years. A basic back bump. It's fine.
A basic back bump from a guy who did Hell in a Cell match.
He came back and was better though.
A basic
Hell in a Cell match did Bret Hart do? What Hell in a Cell match did Bret Hart do?
Basic back
Not a damn thing.
A basic back bump took Shawn Michaels out. And like I said, you just proven my argument about the sizzle in the state.
Wait, you try to violate Shawn.
Shawn had the ladder match. Shawn had the Hell in a Cell.
He could do it all.
Shawn had
basic back bump. Nigga, he took a back bump on a casket.
Shawn needed all these crutches. Bret,
in your words, Greg, after all that, he came back and was on God mode. So yes.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
I love it.
He could wait. He gonna try to say a basic back bump took Shawn out. Nigga took a back bump on a casket when a sweet chin music to the face took Bret Hart out for his career. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. A basic back bump. He took it on the edge of a casket.
Allegedly.
Greg, how do you feel about Bret's WCW run?
Ass.
It's underrated. It's underrated only because.
Wow, really? Underrated?
Only because.
That man would say anything bad about Bret Hart.
It does not say anything bad about it. Doesn't live up to the standard that he set for himself. He doesn't like it because when he was in WWE, he was incredible. But let's be honest, man, that run that he had in WWE from the Hart Foundation to running up the mid card to being a champion, it's hard to touch. He set the standard for what everybody else had to do. The champion wasn't showing up every week when we were watching. You would see Hogan every once in a while. Bret Hart is the reason that you expect to see your champion every Monday. People weren't coming in and having to grind through the tag team to Intercontinental to the world title before Bret Hart.
Shawn Michaels did it too.
Did he do that before Bret Hart?
So it's not that hard if Shawn Michaels could also do it. You're saying
you're misunderstanding.
Shawn Michaels also did it.
You're misunderstanding. Yes. Shawn Michaels followed in his footsteps. So did everybody else.
Oh, so now it's so anything that's done again, it's like the Great Lewis have the best moonsault because he did it first.
You know why you don't get it, Davis?
We can't reinvent.
I love it. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I love it.
all right, hold on, fellas. All right.
You don't get it because
niggas talk about we don't know wrestling and niggas is having a whole arguments. I love it.
At this point, it's turning into the forever argument. My original secondary point was that we will never ever get to the end of this. There will never. Bret Hart niggas will always be Bret
guys
Hart.
like Bret won't let it go.
And like you keep talking. You gotta shut up. Yes.
I've been drinking Hennessy for 3 hours.
Well,
I don't give a fuck about Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. I don't give a fuck about none of this.
You don't care about that? Come on, man. What's up?
All right, well, cool. Either way, my point is we will never ever get to the end of this. So what I will end up saying is, Brother Cal, what we got next after this?
Well, you know what the fun?
Yo, fam is the greatest. Fam, that's a great decision right there. You know what I'm saying? We got a show to run.
That got embarrassed in Canada.
Take me out.
Again, like I said earlier, Brother Fame is the reason why the Black Rasslin Podcast even came back. But I think, the other point I wanted to get into was Drip and Greg get into a beef. But I mean, it seemed like it just these niggas got eternal beef. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point, there's never going to be a time where Greg and Davis are like, yo, we are cool. It's always going to be
never.
You was the stat guy, and now I'm the stat guy. Like it's never going to happen.
I said this before, and I'll say this again. Tony Reali is Buddy Rogers. I'm Ric Flair.
Wow.
Davis is Buddy Landau. As long as he's cool,
here's what happened.
We can be cool.
You're Buddy Landau.
Impossible.
Wow.
Impossible.
Okay, so here's what happened. You hand me the title on the Discord. Then you come on BRP and say, I'm the stat guy. And I do it week after week, time after time. And what do you can't call yourself SGG?
It's okay. It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Watch it with that buddy stuff, Greg. Watch it with that.
I'm not offended.
All right.
No.
Mr. Landau. If you prefer Mr. Landau. There's room for three nature boys. You just have to understand the hierarchy. Like I said, Tony Reali, he is the Buddy Rogers. He blessed me in. I'm the nature boy. I got my 16 championships. I'm fine with that.
Nah, you ran from the grind.
I got the JWO. I got my 4 horsemen. I'm cool. Mr. Landell, you don't need to worry about what Ric Flair's doing. Okay? You got your robe. You got your drip. You got the title. Now what are you going to do with it? Maybe you can get 16 of your own. 2 Hall of Fame rings of your own. What are you going to do with the title? That's what you need to be worried about.
What I've been doing.
You don't need to be worried about coming from me. You got my respect. You are the third big boy. You are the Buddy Landell of the crew. But what are you going to do with it? And please do a little bit more than Buddy Landell did. That's all I ask.
No, that's the thing. I don't come at it like Buddy Landell. It's like, you know what it is? It's like when Shane Douglas was pissed he didn't get the torch passed down. Then he throws the NWA title down. It's like, for all the Harley Races, the Ric Flairs, like they can all kiss my, like that's that. But
aspire to be better than Shane Douglas.
No, that's what I mean. Like, and that's what I
aspire to be better than Shane Douglas.
I do stats on the air. I do stats in the document.
Listen, I even offered you the stat brother. You could have been Owen.
We can't be stat brothers.
You could have been Owen. But you want to
You want to slander the Sixth God. You want to slander Pac. We can't be brothers if we're coming at me like that. It's not going to happen.
Which Pac?
And we're destined. It's like Kevin Owens and Kevin Steen. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, El Generico. We're destined to do this forever.
I told the truth about Tupac. Classic songs, no classic albums.
But you can't tell the truth about Bret Hart.
That he is the best there is, the best there was, and ever will be. I will always tell the truth. Bret Hart is your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler because he made half of them.
So you're saying that Bret Hart is John Cena's favorite wrestler? Because I've never heard John Cena big up Bret Hart.
He made Stone Cold. He made Shawn Michaels. He made Mr. McMahon.
Oh, so he gets credit for making the character Mr. McMahon. Yeah.
Stats, fellas, keep this to the stats.
This is the only stat that we need to know. I opened the door for Davis. He's here, but he needs to remember that as far as he runs up, there's still footsteps ahead of him. As long as he stops acting like he lapping me or something like that.
I already have.
As long as he respects the hierarchy, then we can be cool. All right? You're working your way up the totem pole. The piece that's in the ground, that was you for a little while. Now you're the piece just above ground.
First day
hierarchy.
I debut, I win the title just like that. I didn't have to work up. You provided what stats at the end. I provided stats at the beginning. I provide a document of it. I do it in the Discord. I do it after. You timed a little, and you stopped doing it. You stopped doing it in the last 2 years. You're coaching off of accomplishments. You're a one-time. You like FTR. You want to talk about Bret Hart?
Davis, look at the back of my wall. Look over my shoulder, Davis. Look over my shoulder. What do you see?
Nothing.
You see a giant law degree. You see medals on the wall. Look over your shoulder, Davis. What do you see? You don't need to be worried about what's happening in this room. Worry about what's happening over there.
I'm not worried about
this conversation should have been 2 words long. It should have been you saying
Matt said, I stat every day. I provided on Instagram. I provided stats for a watch list on Halloween. And Matt is like, this motherfucker stats in real life. Because you can't call yourself SGG anymore. You're just Greg to me. That's all I'll ever see you guys going forward. You stopped being the stat guy years ago. Like I said, you ran, like as you said, you ran from the grind. I'm doing this day in, day out. When I'm on the air, when I'm off the air. I do it from memory sometimes. I don't gotta look shit up.
Davis, do you know what the phrase "with a life" means? I don't know if you want to brag about how much of a life you don't have. You need to focus. See, this is which we're trying to harness your energy. You're saying
I don't have a life. You have a fucking law degree and you're wasting your time arguing with a guy with no life. Who's got the life then?
It's because I care.
You're on the mothership. You got 4 big letters behind you. You got 4 letters behind you. I got the 3 letters out of the most important thing in the game right now. BRP. That's it.
Davis. There's
all right.
I love it.
Break it up. I love.
I'm gonna say this.
I love the energy. That it had to happen. That one had to happen. It was necessary. It definitely had to go down.
No disrespect. No disrespect to nobody, but listen, the three most important letters: BRP. Bars.
Shout out to Matt for telling Davis to fight back. It was getting.
Hey man, was saved in that chat.
Shout out to the corner man.
If you're not in the Discord, I mean, because this beef happens all the time, but it's fun to see it. I wanted to see it happen live. It needed to happen live because this
man is still running from the chat challenge. I asked him. We can do
at one point
Jeopardy.
There was one.
Nobody wants to
scared.
You don't put my title on the line.
You'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing.
You don't put my title on the line.
I woke up one night.
And when I gave you a shot, you ran from it.
Greg was talking about Drip owed him how many thousands of dollars? It was like six figures at one point. What the fuck is he even talking about? But I respect it. I love the beef.
Trying to get that bread.
Facts. Get that shit.
I respect it.
Yeah. Can you please pay me too? Can I get my money, please? Thank you.
I don't think Drip's got that.
Oh, where's Rock? Yana?
You was talking about six figures.
You're calling Rock again the godfather of the guileless chat.
The godfather of Coochie. This thing got
you can't call that man a judge.
The dishonorable.
Wait. The Godfather of Coochie sounds like an amazing title. I'm gonna be
Godfather. I don't know if we can call this episode the Godfather of Coochie. That's
what I want to do for the 200. Wow. Black, you know what I mean? Black wrestling out here.
I think at this point, after watching Eve take the whole bottle to the face, I think we got to get out of here. We got to eat some turkey.
3 hours.
We got to get some turkey. We got to chill out. I appreciate all y'all for real. Black Announce Table, Stock at Greg, Cheap Heat, anybody who's black and is podcasting about pro wrestling. Shouts to y'all.
Black shirts count too, Davis. If you're wearing a black shirt.
Okay. Yeah,
there we go, Greg.
If you're a white guy podcasting about pro wrestling, you wear a black shirt, shouts to you. Cody, Eve, let the people know where they can find y'all weekly.
Oh man. It's the Black Announce Table. You could Google that. You could do it on SoundCloud. You could just type it in the Black Announce Table. For me personally, you can hit me up at Cody Dre, CODIE DRE on Instagram, on Twitter, and everything like that. And shouts out to y'all, man, because I'm a big fan of y'all. I love what y'all doing, man. Y'all are so funny, man. Y'all know y'all shit. Y'all know everything, man. I really love what y'all doing, and it's dope that we can all link up and give the people this. Davis, you too, man. Davis, you know what I mean? You're amazing at what you do. Like, you know what I mean? You're amazing
to be a white guy,
man.
Shout out to you leaning into your whiteness.
The white privilege.
Hey man, look, man, for real though, like this is dope that we can all sit here and have this time with each other. You know what I'm saying? And give this to the people like this, man. So yeah, everything, man. It's all love.
And the party ain't over. As long as this has been, you're gonna see a couple of this ain't the end.
Facts.
Of course.
Wait,
200 more at least.
No, again, there's no corporations backing this, so we're gonna go until me and Mav get into a fight, and we're like, you know what, fuck this podcast. We're gonna keep going.
So next week, then.
Next week, it might be a wrap. Greg, where can people find y'all? Greg, shouts out to you. Where can people find y'all?
At Stat Guy Greg on Twitter and Instagram. ESPN's Cheap Heat Podcast is available basically everywhere, man. iTunes, anywhere you get your podcast. But I do want to say too, shouts out to y'all, because like, just to piggyback a little bit off what Cody said, this is the 200th episode. We giving out flowers, and I don't think we gave y'all your flowers for even getting to 200 and doing what you've been doing. So definitely shout out to y'all. It's a little late, but for real, shout out to y'all.
It's all good.
That's for real, man. Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah. I want to say,
Real quick.
Yeah, you
go ahead,
man. Look, like my brother Cody said, man, Black Announce Table every Friday, every streaming platform. Your boy Sky High Eve on Twitter, on Instagram, Clubhouse. You can find me on there. You feel me? I'm on everything. I'm tapped in.
This
you know
nigga
what I'm
horny.
It's the first Clubhouse shout out we've ever gotten.
I'm tapped in everywhere. Sky High Eve, man. Yeah. But for real, like Greg and Cody was saying, man, shouts to y'all for real, man. 200 episodes is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? To be able to do something consistently week after week after week after week, to get to 50, to get to 100, 150, 200, that's a blessing, man. So you feel me? And also, I don't know if people noticed, but y'all were some of the first people to reach out to us, the Black Announce Table, and have us on your program. You know what I'm saying? So y'all extended that branch early. You know what I'm saying? Greg did that early, and that's why I got love for all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all looked out for us early in the game, and that's always been special to me. I hold y'all like this. You know what I'm saying? I refer to y'all as Uncle Fam, Uncle Math, Uncle Cal, because y'all are really, you feel me? Y'all a family to me. So I really appreciate all y'all guys, man. Cal, Fam, Math, Greg, you know what I'm saying? Y'all look out all the time, man. I appreciate y'all. Davis, I already told you the other day, like you got something special with your shit too. So just keep rocking, man. I appreciate y'all, man, for real.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say, that's the thing. It's like when we did the first live episode, it was a situation where Dre was where Davis was like really in the chat and was like, you know what? We might need to figure something out, you know, because this guy's really in the mix. And I think it's again, in talking about the timeline, talking about what's happening, it's a lot of passion at the end of the day. It's just what is people really into. And you can tell when people are really about this shit and they're just like trying, or if they're just trying to be about it, you know what I mean? And I think the one thing that we all share, shouts out Suku as well, is there's a genuine love for pro wrestling, genuine, you know, a love for following this shit, but also just talking about it with people that relate, especially when there's not a lot of spaces for us. So I think y'all, I really appreciate y'all for taking the time to get drunk with us and celebrate 200 episodes. Really appreciate it.
Sure,
Davis, I respect Davis for you know, rolling with the punches. You know what I mean? Because you and Greg had a good 2-3 minutes just now where y'all was going back and forth. And I'll say this before getting in. A lesser man would have been like, you know what, Greg, you got it. Davis won't let up. Davis said, you know what, fuck this shit.
What I appreciate about Davis too is that, like, because I am a button pusher, I am a line stepper, and like I don't mind pushing people over the edge.
Right.
It's actually a pastime of mine. I love it.
I was gonna say, yeah, I love
it. So that Davis would go right up to the edge and refuse to go over. It's like,
I love it.
I appreciate you.
No, that's what I'll just say real quick is, as I said earlier in the pod, again, I don't know about Black Announce Table if it isn't for Greg. And I remember Greg coming on GP and it's like added an extra element. I already liked the show to begin with, and reading Shoemaker is what I got back into wrestling. Then GP, I'm like, oh, so it's the first wrestling podcast I listened to. Then Greg's a part of it. Then him and Rosenberg put on Black Announce Table, and I'm like, I rock with them because, again, it's people of my age, my generation watching wrestling and giving their opinion and their take. And as I Cody when he was on the pod with me and Vegas 2 weeks ago, that even though we're the same age, and I view him as an idol in a way or someone to aspire to. Like, people our age, we want to do so much, but some of us never get the chance to do it. And like you said, we come up with stuff to push away. But you got all this equipment you bought, and you're trying to figure it out yourself because there's no how to do this really. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. Yeah. But you figure it out, and you're at 156, and you're talking about pod brunches, and now we're united with this and that, and then you create the Discord, and that's how I really find Fam, Cal, and Matt. I listened to them on that. You had them for the Black History episode back in February. I'm like, and I was like dying. When I heard Matt Damon, I'm like, what the fuck? I've never heard like something more amazing.
What a great feature on the podcast. That was amazing. We were on that shit for like 15 minutes, but that, I mean, again, it's one of those things where we'd had Cody and we had everybody from Black Announce Table on individually. And we knew, like, that they want us on while they're recording. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we were recording that night, fam. Do you remember, like, the night where
I was probably drunk.
What I think we were probably recording that night, and I think it was like, bet we about to get on there, and then we about to do our shit, and it was some like 15 minutes. I don't remember what we talked about on the Black Announce Table for the 100th episode, but it probably was some insane shit. And but it's family. It's family.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Out of here.
Hey,
I remember that.
First niggas I texted when I got to New York the last time I went was these two niggas, man.
Facts.
Yeah, I was hurting, bro. Oh my god, I was hurting that. I was supposed to link fam on it was like a Sunday, but I went out the night before. You feel me? Shots of tequila and Hennessy really
Casamigos
take me out. You feel me? That really
doing the mix.
Yo,
I was wilding out.
And Lil Fam ran me all around downtown, or you know what I'm saying, around Manhattan, spending money. So I was. And nigga ran my pockets loose. My pockets as tired as you was that next day.
Facts. I do want to say though, shit. Shouts out to fam again. 2011. Shit. I don't remember the conversation we had, but at some point he put me on to doing this thing, linking up with fam and math. It was really like talking to family about shit you've been into all your life. So it's easy when you link up with people who share your interests and have that passion and are good people to talk about shit with. Because again, it's been damn near, and I don't want to edit none of this shit. Fuck that shit. We don't edit no way. But 3 hours of just insane, drunken pro wrestling talk is what I live for weekly. So I appreciate Math and Fam specifically, but all of y'all, I really love having these conversations week in, week out, whether it's on the pod, whether it's on Twitter, Discord, whatever. Again, this is why we get together and have these Thanksgiving celebrations so we can give our flowers to everybody who's really doing the shit. So thank y'all for really helping me understand what my love of pro wrestling was and what my love of just talking to people about pro wrestling. I thank y'all for being who you are, so we can all continue individually doing what we're doing. Thank you.
Yeah, man. And definitely don't edit too. The people need to hear Fam, Cody, and Davis tell them that Bret Hart is the best ever. Don't edit that part out.
It's facts.
It was said.
Please don't.
I'll edit that.
Math heard it. Math heard it. Math
You
heard
hear
it.
that, Cody? Stop editing, boy. I had a shoot promo this weekend. This man took it out. I'm tight.
He took it all out?
Hey,
he took it out. I'm sick.
Call me Michael Jordan, baby. I got Final Cut.
All right. Well, Black Announce Table, Cheap Heat, Black Rasslin. I don't even want to go into anything else. Shit, that was it. Thank y'all for if you've been listening. Shouts out to Michael Apple. Shouts out to people like Sean Orleans and anybody who's been really rocking with Black Rasslin specifically for 200 episodes. Anybody who just found us last week, a couple weeks ago, whatever. Please give a listen to Black Announce Table. Give a listen to Cheap Heat.
Discord.
Shout out to Discord. Shouts out. They call us madmen, whatever. I gotta piss. I fucks with y'all. Y'all have a good one. Shit. It's been a lot of fun. 200 of BRP. We going to 200 of Black Announce Table at some point.
Hey man.
Fucks with y'all. Love y'all.
200 hits to 200 more, man.
Word.
Exactly. I wasn't part of it. I was only part of it. I was only part of the first six of the 200. Hopefully I'll be part of the next 200.
Don't worry about it.
The most important 6. Fuck all that shit.
Facts.
Six.
Facts. All right. I'm going to go pee. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
Already,
put a glove on the hand.
I'm out of here, man. Fuck out of here.
Yo, good to with y'all, man.
Nigga, math showed up, ain't do nothing. Math ain't do shit the whole episode. Like.